Traffic is sponsored by St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores. Highway 100 and Layton Avenue in Greenfield. 23rd and Lincoln and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee. Great bargains and a great cause. You're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
Well, no rain in the forecast today. Plenty of sunshine, a little mix of clouds. Nice day, comfortable temperatures. Humidity is down. High of 78 degrees. Very similar forecast on Thursday. Plenty of sunshine, calling it for a high of 82. Chance of rain returns on Friday with a high of 80. Same story on Saturday. 80 degrees with storm potential on Saturday. Right now it's 76. Mostly sunny in Milwaukee at 12:09.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Todd.
I hope everybody's doing all right. When we left here yesterday afternoon, clouds were starting to darken in the general area, and I thought, I'll just mow the lawn here. I want to get that done just in case it rains. Well, much more than I ever thought was going to happen happened last night. Before you know it, we were in the basement for about an hour as the tornado sirens were going off in our area.
Yeah, I was still here. I was anticipating what was coming. Our teams were on the air, and I will say it was another evening where I found myself in the shower.
Yeah.
Because I live in a condo downtown, and here's the thing. I can't remember a summer where Milwaukee County has had so many tornado warnings.
Yeah.
Now, don't quote me on the fact. I haven't looked back through the research to see have we had as many, but it just seems like Mother Nature has been very intense this summer, and specifically Milwaukee County has been a part of that.
More on the continuing cleanup throughout the day here on WTMJ.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
The U.S. Department of Education is investigating Milwaukee Public Schools. The DOE is looking at allegations MPS considered race when disciplining students. The department's Office for Civil Rights says it's looking into whether MPS violated Title VI of the Civil Rights Act by encouraging race-based disciplinary practices. The investigation comes as the Trump administration just issued new guidance telling schools discipline policies must treat students equally, regardless of race, and should not be designed to produce racially balanced outcomes. We did reach out to the Milwaukee Public School District, the state's largest school district, to get the response. They did tell us that they've received the letter from the U.S. Department of Education, but they continue to note that the letter they received does not contain the basis or prompting for the investigation. So once they get more details and they learn a little bit more about this investigation, they will have more to say. The other school district being investigated is in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Oak Creek leaders approve a final agreement with Buc-ee's regarding the state's first ever travel center. Some key details. Construction. Under the agreement, Buc-ee's will begin a construction assignment September 1st with completion date on or before August 1st of 2028. Now, money involved here is substantial. Buc-ee's will make a one-time $350,000 contribution to a community project selected by the city of Oak Creek. They'll also provide $15,000 a year for city marketing, special events, and community celebrations. And we talked about this deal point yesterday, Jessica, but Buc-ee's will do all this. They'll make the $350,000 contribution. They'll provide $15,000 annually for marketing, special events, and so on. If the Wisconsin Department of Transportation and the city of Oak Creek approve renaming a portion of Elm Road to Buc-ee's Boulevard. Looks like that will go through pending the Wisconsin DOT.
Certainly as other ways they wanted to bring themselves into the community in the right way and make a big splash. And I think this is them following through on those good faith efforts to really bring something special into the community.
That's Oak Creek Administrator Andrew Vickers. Buc-ee's will also provide space inside the travel center for a kiosk promoting tourism in the state and information about Oak Creek.
Yesterday, I was looking to see where else in the world there's a Buc-ee's Boulevard because I figured there had to be one.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember which one I found yesterday. It might have been the one in Virginia, but Mount Crawford, Virginia. It also looks like there is another Buc-ee's Boulevard in Auburn, Alabama.
Well, there you go. Not like Main Street, but I get where you're going with it.
Well, Wisconsin is rolling out its first film tax credits. Today, the governor announced the state's new film office just awarded more than $1 million to 6 Wisconsin productions. That includes the Uke documentary everybody's raving about. That production team will get $140,000 from the state. The new tax credit program offers up to $5 million a year to attract film and television production. State leaders say this will create more jobs, support local businesses, and showcase Wisconsin to future visitors. Other projects awarded money include films about former MLB Commissioner Bud Selig, a Milwaukee native, and NFL standout Don Beebe.
12:13 on WTMJ. The Packers honing in on preseason game number 2. We'll get the latest from Green Bay, including a young player who is standing out almost day after day. Jason Wilde joins us from Green Bay after this.
Are you looking for a welcoming place to unwind? Vince Vitrano here. Our family found a home at Racine Country Club. Premier golf on the historic championship course, rolling terrain, famously fast greens, tight fairways, and scenic Root River views. Work your game year-round with indoor simulators, hitting bays, top-notch practice facilities, and leagues for every level. Plus, at Racine Country Club, you enjoy elevated dining, swimming, and a full calendar of family-friendly events. Join me on the course at Racine Country Club, racinecountryclub.com.
Happening now, it's the Labor Day sale at Steinhoffel's. It's one of the best times of the year to save. Get up to 30% off furniture and home decor, plus incredible deals on top mattress brands like Beauty Rest, Tempur-Pedic, Helix, and more. And for a limited time, when you test rest a Beauty Rest Black mattress, you'll get a free $25 gas card just for giving it a try. Hurry into your nearest Steinhoffel's showroom. Tell them Jessica Ty sent you, or shop online at steinhoffels.com.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes senior living at Three Pillars so special?
The welcomeness. People are so friendly. If you have a problem, you can go to anybody. The community and the sense of safety provided for my mom and dad, and it's just like the most wonderful place to be.
They're just delightful, everyone. I don't see staff, I see friends. And I really do feel that.
And you couldn't live in more beautiful grounds.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
Foster care isn't about finding perfect kids. It's about being there when they need you most.
Mrs. White stuck out even when she didn't have to. She took me back in. That's why I'm here.
The hard part is you got to stick around. It's only through a lot of hard times sometimes that a kid kind of gets to that turning point to then have the breakthrough where you did change that kid's life.
Exactly.
Sometimes changing a child's life starts with simply refusing to give up. Learn more at lacausa.org.
Beautiful day today, plenty of sunshine, a little mix of clouds and a high of 78 degrees. No rain in the forecast, humidity down, dew points down, real comfortable day. Similar situation on Thursday with a high of 80 degrees. Next chance for rain appears to be Friday. A chance of storms possible Friday and Saturday with highs of 82 on both days. 76 right now, plenty of sunshine in Milwaukee at 12:16. So the Packers will go out to Denver to face the Broncos in preseason game number 2 on Friday. And according to head coach Matt LaFleur, it looks like Jordan Love is going to play again. So it kind of continues a trend of something that we've seen over the last several years where he wants to be ready to go here on week 1 of the regular season when the Packers face division rival Minnesota. Also big this week, the return of one of their premier offensive players. Let's go to Green Bay, shall we? We welcome in from Wilde and Tausch on ESPN Wisconsin. And also incredible work online at channel3000.com, our connection with Jason Wilde. Hey, Jason.
Shout out to Gina, the Foster, the people hit pumped up kicks. I'm assuming we're going to talk at some point about kicker Trace Smack. Yeah. So she's always the best, man. She's
and
the
he
best.
Can kick, and we love that.
She is on top of it, no doubt about that. Well, Trace Mack, one of the big stories of training camp, especially in the early going, and he settled down with that preseason performance. Things have kind of calmed down, thankfully. A big excitement this week, I guess, Jason, is the return of Tucker Kraft. He's a guy who was on the verge of becoming a Pro Bowl, maybe an All-Pro standout last year before the injury to his ACL. But now he is back. Does he look like Tucker Kraft? I know it's only been a few days here.
Yeah, he definitely looks like the Tucker Kraft of old. Now, obviously, these are practices. They're at Rainitzky Field. He's not being tackled to the ground. So there's still a process to him getting back to being the player he was before the injury. But he looks the part. He looks great. I mean, he looked phenomenal the last couple of days. Today wasn't really a high level or high intensity practice heading into Friday night's game. But yeah, he looks great. And, his contract situation remains unresolved. He's still taking part, even though I think he could easily make the argument that without a new contract, I'm not going to do 11 on 11 work. He's not wired that way. So he's out there. He looks great, but now they got to get something done. They need to get it done before week 1. They've got less than a month to go before the season kicks off.
Something else, I do want to talk about the kicker because we're happy that he can kick, but I know we touched on that a little bit last week. Something that is still pending that's out there, Josh Jacobs. A lot of people in the news world have not forgotten about the charges, and we know because the Brown County District Attorney confirmed not that long ago to WTMJ that those charges are still under review. What's happening out on the field with that? And are people talking about that? Has the team mentioned anything else, or is this just nobody's saying anything more until something comes down and we know whether he will indeed be charged and they'll move forward with this?
Yeah, I mean, as you point out at the end there, Jessica, he has not been charged. Those charges have not been officially brought. They are determining still, which is remarkable to me, through further investigation, is what David Lassay said, the Brown County District Attorney, whether charges will be filed and if they are, what they will be. He was initially arrested, obviously. There were preliminary charges, but right now he has not been charged. And why this is germane is that there's a player for the Atlanta Falcons named James Pierce. He's an edge rusher for the Falcons, and he was involved in a domestic issue with his ex-girlfriend who plays in the WNBA, and he was charged with multiple felonies, and he entered an agreement on a diversion program where the charges will be dropped once he completes the 1-year program, if he completes it. Well, there's a big difference between that and where Josh Jacobs is. So he's not going to jail. He's not, any of those things. But he got suspended 8 games by the league. So there is a component of a league suspension that also factors in here. And so whether or not he ends up formally being charged and then reaches some sort of agreement, that could lead to a suspension. If ultimately the Brown County District Attorney's Office announces that they've decided through insufficient evidence, uncooperative witness, whatever it might be, that they're not going to pursue charges, he could still be suspended. I think it makes it a lot less likely, but it is still possible. So, yeah, as I've said many times on the air, I have some friends that are police officers. I have some friends that are lawyers, and they all say the same thing. We've reached a point now where it is very unusual that we're still in this kind of limbo with a case like this.
Every league is different when it comes to professional sports, but would you say that the NFL is a little bit more stern than maybe the others?
No, and quite frankly, they haven't been stern enough, especially in incidents of domestic violence. I mean, I think they have gotten more stern, but it's only because of the embarrassment that they, as a league, experienced when the Ray Rice video came out. Ray Rice was a running back for the Ravens who, there's no two ways to put it, he beat up his girlfriend on video in I think it was a Las Vegas hotel. It was on security footage at a hotel, and they had let him off with a slap on the wrist, basically. And then, obviously, they had to change course, and they have been certainly more proactive since then. But their reputation, I mean, I covered Amon Green. Amon Green had multiple domestic situations that came up, and I believe he was charged in some of them, and it was never really, it was kind of, I don't want to say it was shrugged off, because I certainly didn't view it that way, but from a suspension standpoint, it largely was. And so they have had that kind of moment where they realized that they had not taken this seriously enough. But no, I don't think they get credit for being harsher now, Jessica, when they're really just making up for how blatantly they failed in this area previously. Kind of like concussions.
ESPN Wisconsin's Jason Wieldy joining us here. Jason, we've kind of reached that point of camp where it's not uncommon to see some kind of skirmish or pushing and shoving break out. And somewhere in the back of my mind, I feel like coaches don't really mind it. They don't really mind it so long as nobody's on the verge of being hurt, especially a star quarterback. I think they don't mind seeing a little bit of an edge, and especially this Matt LaFleur team. where he has been criticized at times for having a team that was maybe a little bit soft when it needed to be tougher. So is this a sign that maybe this team will have a little bit more of an edge, that you're seeing some pushing and shoving, or is it just kind of the way camp goes and you see this everywhere regardless of a team's profile and characteristics?
Yeah, I don't think so. And frankly, I don't think getting into fights with your own teammates shows that you're not soft, right? Like, it can show that you're stupid, right? Especially if you do something that hurts a guy that you're counting on. But you're right. There's certainly that perception, Greg, about them. But I don't think fighting your guys helps or hurts. And frankly, we've gotten further into training camp than I have ever gotten where there wasn't a fight. And then it was almost as if we spoke it into existence. I think Rob Domofsky from ESPN was talking about it with Xavier McKinney, and McKinney was like, look, we're past that. We don't have time for that kind of stupid stuff. And then, of course, they had fights like the very next practice after he said that. Zaire Franklin's part of that. He's obviously pretty respected, but also certainly a tough guy, an alpha, as he likes to say. So there have been some of those situations. No one has fought Trey Smack, which is good, because he's the only kicker they have, and he's on a little bit of a hot streak.
Yeah, don't hurt his leg.
But no, well, that's funny because we were talking to Xavier McKinney yesterday, and Trey Smack's locker is right next to his. And I turned after I was done talking with X, and Trey was there, and he hadn't been there when I started the conversation. I almost stepped on his foot. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. He's like, no, I'm good. And I was like, well, that's a pretty valuable foot for me to be stepping on. I got to be careful. So he was great about that.
Hey, Jason, as we're so happy that Tucker Kraft is back in the mix, and we know about the familiar names, but what about some of the rookies that maybe those casual fans don't know that well yet? Who are you keeping an eye on and thinking, you know what, we got to watch this guy. He's going to be good.
Yeah, my favorite story, and I don't know if he's going to make the team or not. They've got a lot of big guys on the defensive line that have had some pretty good moments in this camp, but his name is Anthony Campbell. He was born in Jamaica, grew up there until age 14 when he moved to America with his family. He attended 3 different colleges, barely played his final year at the University of Miami in Florida. Went undrafted last year, was signed to the Seahawks practice squad at the end of their training camp, spent 1 day on the practice squad and got cut, got re-signed to the practice squad a couple days later, spent 1 day there, got cut again, and was out of football until the Packers picked him up on their practice squad late last year. He has been a monster. Again, he's inexperienced, he's a project-type player, but he has had a great camp. He's batted down a ton of balls. Everyone's rooting for him. He is the quintessential long shot guy that's trying to make the team. I think it's more likely he ends up on the practice squad, so he has more time to develop. But those are the stories. He wears number 60. So if you're going to stay up late on Friday night and watch the entirety of a preseason game, so when the third string and lower are in the game, number 60, keep an eye on him and see what he does.
Love that.
Well, for more on Campbell, you'll want to read Jason's article here. Could Anthony Campbell's long, strange trip to the NFL lead to a spot on the 53-man roster? You can find it at channel3000.com. Check out Jason and the Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher on Wilde and Tausch 9 to noon on ESPN Wisconsin. Always great insight, Jason. We'll do it again next week.
Great to be back on the Wednesday schedule, guys. It's great to be with you.
Yeah, great to talk football.
Right. Take care. Be good.
Yep, you do the same. Jason Wilde, each and every week, every Wednesday here on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Wilde on Wednesdays.
25 years ago, a generational Bucks team made an unforgettable run.
This is the place to be.
Light It Up, narrated by Jim Paschke, is the new season of the Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. This is the oral history of the 2000-2001 Milwaukee Bucks and their run to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
Absolute bedlam here at the Bradley Center.
Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Greg Matzik here for Sorens Ford on Capitol Drive in Brookfield. I always call it a neighborhood dealership because it's, well, not too far from the neighborhood I live in. Easy to find, beautiful setting, and incredible inventory in people. That's the difference with Sorens Ford. Easy to find on Capitol Drive in Brookfield. Family owned for 108 years. The Sorens name maintains now with fourth generation family ownership, still bringing fantastic service and a buying and ownership experience unmatched and unparalleled here in the state of Wisconsin. They find ways to give back. They find ways to help you when you're in the search for a new or used vehicle. The dealership has an incredible inventory. If they don't have exactly what you're looking for, connect with Sorens Ford. They'll go to work for you. They'll find it for you. That's what they do. That's service. That's reputation. That's 108 years of doing it the right way in Wisconsin as Wisconsin's longest running Ford dealership. Check out Sorens.com. That's SOERENS.com. And if you just need a service appointment, no problem. Sorens will make it easy for you. We needed an oil change and tire rotation on my wife's vehicle a couple of months ago. Said, no problem, Greg. They came out and picked up the vehicle, brought it back to the dealership, performed the services, then dropped the vehicle back off. Just like that. We had a couple things crossed off our weekend to-do list on a Friday. Great stuff from Sorens. Visit Sorens Ford.
Do you have an upcoming wedding, a bridal or baby shower, maybe a family reunion? WTMJ's John Mercure here. I highly recommend having your party at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club. Half your dinners are free. When you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free every single night, even for special events. Choice steaks, seafood, pasta. How about the surf and turf? Any entree, buy one, get one free. Desserts, my favorite part, is buy one, get one free. Celebrate a birthday, an anniversary, a retirement, or just a quiet free dinner with your sweetie. Have your company employee appreciation dinner at the Fox and Hounds. Half your dinners are free, and it's a gorgeous setting right in the heart of the Kettle Moraine near Holy Hill. Spectacular views. Gift cards are also the perfect year-round gifts, as your second dinner is always free. Order online, and your gift cards will arrive shortly. I've done this many times. Reserve your wedding shower, rehearsal, or family dinner today. Half your dinners are free every night at the Fox and Hounds. Google, call, and reserve.
The new All-Pro battery by Steel. Tackle any task with 60% more peak power. Exclusively available at your local Steel dealer. 60% peak power comparison between AP300PC and AP300S.
I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. Your top story, Wisconsin's largest school district now under federal investigation.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. In California, the trial against Meta continuing today following yesterday's opening statements. Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, facing a multi-state lawsuit arguing that the platforms are designed to be addictive and have negative impacts on the mental health of teens and children. Allegations Meta denies. More from ABC's Kana Whitworth.
This is an operation that lawyers described as hook, hold, harvest, and hide, claiming the company also harvested data and hid the truth from the public. They call the former Facebook employee to the stand as well, who testified that teens are being exposed to violent and graphic content that was 100 to 400 times higher than what Meta is reporting publicly.
In Alaska, race results coming in from yesterday's primary races. President Trump's choice in a key Senate race, winning the Republican primary ahead of November elections. U.S. Representative Mary Peltola won the Democratic primary. President Trump ordering a pause on a new round of tariffs on Canadian goods for 3 days so talks can continue. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 12:31. Milwaukee Public Schools facing a federal investigation over whether race is being considered when students are disciplined.
The investigation was announced Tuesday as the U.S. Department of Education issued new guidance on school discipline. Federal officials say MPS education leaders have questioned whether some neutral discipline policies reflect systemic whiteness and may have encouraged officials to consider race. MPS says it received notice of the investigation Tuesday and needs more information before responding. The investigation is one of two opened by the department, the other school district in Arkansas. The federal guidance says schools must apply discipline policies evenly regardless of a student's race. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
Decision Wisconsin. A lawsuit challenges whether a Republican candidate for state Senate is eligible to appear on the November ballot.
The State Senate Democratic Committee is asking a judge to declare Michelle Magadance Skinner ineligible to run, accusing her of being a Georgia resident and improperly voting and claiming residency in both states. The lawsuit also seeks to remove Skinner from her current seat on the Eau Claire County Board. Skinner denies the allegations, saying Wisconsin is her home and her husband maintains a separate residence in Georgia. She's running against incumbent Democratic State Senator Jeff Smith in the 31st District, which covers parts of western Wisconsin. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
The investigation continues after an inmate died in the Milwaukee County Jail. The Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office confirms a 45-year-old man was being transported from the West Allis Police Department when authorities determined he should be taken to the hospital instead. He had told police earlier that he had thrown up and was not feeling well. While being transported, he experienced a medical emergency and died. He originally was arrested for operating while intoxicated.
Wisconsin lawmakers are taking a closer look at cryptocurrency scams and whether more needs to be done to protect consumers. The Department of Financial Institutions says last year, Wisconsinites 60 and older lost about $46 million to crypto scams.
Many elderly people who have spent a lifetime accumulating their wealth and they lose it in a few seconds. And it's heartbreaking.
That's Director Robin Jacobs. State regulators say crypto transactions can be difficult to reverse once that money is sent. A bipartisan committee is expected to explore potential legislation when it meets again this fall.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:33.
Sports parents know the countless hours and dollars spent on practice, games, equipment, training, travel. So when an injury happens, why don't we invest in recovery too? Vince Vitrano for MD Hyperbaric. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy supports the body's natural healing process, whether it's recovering from injury or a concussion, because it's not just about getting your athlete back on the field. It's about helping them recover for school, work, and life long after the season ends. Learn more at mdhyperbaric.com.
And now, about your house. Eric Brown is the president of Siding Unlimited, your contractor for new windows, roofing, siding, decks, and a whole lot more. He knows about your house. So what do you know, Eric?
Recently, Siding Unlimited installed new windows in a home, and the homeowner loved the experience. Linda W. said, I was extremely satisfied with the service that was provided by Siding Unlimited. I had a new roof and new windows installed in my house. Linda loved that she chose the right company for peace of mind. She also loved the colors. Larry, another Siding Unlimited customer, was thrilled with the experience. Larry's home looks brand new. Go to our Siding Unlimited Instagram page and see our pinned message to listen to Larry's testimonial, but also see his house. Again, Siding Unlimited, knocking it out of the park. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit the 5-time Pella Platinum Premier National Window Contractor of the Year winner at sidingunlimited.com. Definitely listen to Larry on Instagram at Siding Unlimited LLC.
Eric and his crews at Siding Unlimited are your go-to contractor here for roofing and also replacement windows, decks, and of course siding. They've done it all at the Matzik households over the years. It started with windows, transforming our 1953 Milwaukee home into something beautiful. And then, on our new house, brand new LP Smart Side siding. Built 8 years ago, our house still looks brand new. Make sure to connect with Eric about patio projects as well. They've expanded our outdoor living space to an area fit with a beautiful cedar pergola, paver patio, gas fire pit, and more. The best in lighting? I can control it from my phone. All there at Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more. Take the next step and check them out at sidingunlimited.com. Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on August 25th.
Fly ball center field. It's hit well. Grisham back. It is gone!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the New York Mets.
Got him swinging. Threw him a curveball. It's 11 Ks for Mizorowski.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Tune in August 25th at 6:10 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee or check your local listings to watch the game.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. Playing with an edge. Something defensive coordinator Jonathan Gannon is preaching in Green Bay and something veteran linebacker Zaire Franklin is all about.
My mentality in between the white lines is ultra competitor, like ultimate alpha. Like I want to challenge the best, the biggest. I don't want a little guy. I want to go against the bad out there. That's how I feel. I feel like I'm the best. I'm the baddest on the planet when I'm on the field. That's just my mentality.
Packers head coach Matt LaFleur says Jordan Love will play in Friday's preseason game against the Broncos. Brewers look to win the series against the Mariners tonight in Game 2 of a 3-game series. A successful rehab assignment for rookie shortstop Cooper Pratt could result in his return as early as tonight. Milwaukee begins today 4.5 games ahead of the Cubs for first place in the NL Central. Coverage of tonight's game begins at 6:05.
Let's get you an update on the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. A good development here. The crash that I was keeping tabs on down in Racine County has now cleared. So looking good there. No other crashes to report. A couple disabled vehicles out in the system. The one I do want to alert you to is just in a kind of a funny spot. I-94 West at 4394 North. Right shoulder is blocked due to a broken down vehicle. And that's a spot where the car is just kind of smushed on over to the side. So you definitely have to make sure you see it in enough time and you make your way around it. Not a lot of traffic in that spot right now, though.
Dry conditions today and tomorrow for your Thursday. Beautiful day today. 78 the high, plenty of sunshine. Similar situation on Thursday. We could touch 80 degrees. Some showers expected early on Friday, then scattered thunderstorms developing later in the day with a high of 80 degrees. 77 right now, mostly sunny in Milwaukee at 12:38.
This never gets old. Puts a smile on my face every Wednesday.
All right, so I've tried guessing these on my own. I'm like 1 for 30. Like if I get one right out of 30, I'm happy with myself. I'm just not in the know like our guy Scott McFarlane is from the Midas Touch on 90s R&B.
I often can sing some of the lyrics, but I just don't have the knowledge like Scott does. His mind is amazing because he knows not only the name of the song, but also who sung it. But let's go to him live right now. I was talking with Greg here, so I didn't take a peek at you ahead of time, Scott. Sometimes I can tell just from your facial expression, and for all of our fans who are streaming with us right now on social media or YouTube, sometimes I can tell, but I wasn't looking at you. Do you know this one?
I'll also give you the year. This is from the summer of 1997, which is somehow just 29 stinking years ago.
Yeah.
The group is called Zhane. That's Zhane, and one of their lesser known songs to most people is Sending My Love.
Oh.
And Greg, remember what Robin Yount said. 1 out of 3 is great.
Yeah.
Don't worry. You don't have to be perfect, man. You don't have to be perfect.
Well, that is definitely true. Gina, great work again, but no, he's like liner notes. You don't need those in your little CD
Giving us
portfolio.
the year, too.
Right.
Showing off there today, Scott.
Scott, you spoke a couple of weeks ago about Washington's, quote, obsession with the Democratic primary, which really had some teeth to it, especially over the last few weeks. Well, now that is settled, and it's Tom Tiffany, the Republican, against David Crowley. I know you had a chance to connect with County Executive Crowley recently. What was the goal there? What were you hoping to find out? What did you learn?
A few different threads I wanted to pull on this race because I think it has outsized importance even outside of Wisconsin. Crowley is going to make the argument over the next few weeks that he has executive experience, running the county with nearly 24 different jurisdictions in the county, experience overseeing public safety, communications, transportation, whereas he's going to argue Congressman Tiffany is a congressman, a legislator who doesn't have that same type of blocking and tackling executive experience that a governor would. That's an argument Crowley can bring to anybody of any political persuasion and try to make an inroad. But what was most jarring to me in my conversation with David Crowley and the conversations I've had previously with Congressman Tiffany is that they're all over the place, inside out politically on this data center issue. And I would make the argument data centers are a decisive, transcendent issue in this election in every state in the country. People want to hear action. They want to be heard on the issue of data centers. And you have Congressman Tiffany, who over the last 48 hours has posted a number of messages saying we need a moratorium or a halting of data centers. And David Crowley, who's taking perhaps a more nuanced position towards let's just make sure we tighten up the restrictions and the rules to make sure local communities want these things before we allow them to move forward. But you can tell that they're both talking about it. They know where the voters are right now. Voters want to be heard on this issue, and they're both extending themselves to try to make it like they're doing the listening.
I'm so glad you brought up data centers because last night I saw, and I think they started airing on Monday, but last night I saw the first Tom Tiffany ad that goes, against and is attacking David Crowley. And you'll hear here, let me actually play a little bit of it. This is what we're going to hear a lot of in the months ahead.
Meet data center David Crowley.
They gave him a nickname. And, you hear that big kind of, that big voice guy, the dark voice guy. And that's just like, here we go with the political attack ads. They are starting at full force right now, Scott.
This is parallel to what we're seeing in other states. And what's tricky about it to me, Jess, is there's no predictable line of demarcation here. When you have Republicans trying to outflank Democrats as Democrats being too close to business and corporations. But that is just a paradigm change to where we've been over several different election cycles in Wisconsin and elsewhere. So I find it to be topsy-turvy or somewhat inside out. But the same exact thing is playing out in Pennsylvania with a Democratic governor, 2028, hopeful, potentially, Josh Shapiro, has over the last 24 hours introduced sweeping new regulations and restrictions on data centers. And the Republican who's challenging him for the governor's seat wants a moratorium, wants them to be halted. And you can flip the paradigm in other states where it's the Republican taking a softer line. I don't know where this is going politically. All I know is they're looking at polling and they're seeing people who either care about data centers, care about the impact in their community about data centers, but most fundamentally, Greg and Jess, don't feel like they're being heard. And that's why we have an anti-establishment wave existing across the country politically, and both Tiffany and Crowley are trying to outflank each other.
So, Scott, if President Trump continues to actively push to accelerate the construction of AI data centers, right? They want to win the arms race here with the world of AI. They want to be the world powers in the United States. If a Republican candidate for governor is opposing of that view, is there a risk of dividing the Republican vote in any way, or is it not that significant at the state level?
It's definitely significant, but it's not that clean. Yes, it could divide where MAGA is if Tom Tiffany takes a position that is contrary to Donald Trump. And to be clear, he very much is. Trump has said, let's keep going with these things. We need to stay up with China. We can't lose this arms race. There may be some sacrifice to pay, but we can't just surrender. Tiffany and Trump have some daylight there. But the constituencies that are lining up against data centers are not red or blue or purple. They're this unique, unprecedented coagulation of different people on different parts of the spectrum. They're just people who care about their land, their electric costs, the environment, the overarching concerns about AI. You can't paint them with one brush. So even though Tiffany may be turning off some of the Trump loyalists, he may be welcoming people who would otherwise vote blue. I don't know where this goes, but that's why this race has so much attention so far and wide. It's competitive. It's a battleground state, and the Republicans taking what is perceived to be a harder line against business. We're going to learn a lot in November, lessons to move forward with.
We're talking with Scott McFarland, Chief Washington Correspondent for Midas Touch. Scott, I know you were noting today that the Justice Department just rolled out the 60-page argument to salvage the Seashells case against James Comey. What have you learned from those 60 pages?
They're trying to sustain this unique case. Some would say thin case. Some would say at least a provocative case, where they're trying to prosecute a former FBI director for taking a picture of seashells that he did not put in place, the 8647, 8647 seashells. Comey has argued that this case should be dropped, that it's, quote, vindictive, selective prosecution with political animus. You can't prosecute people in America vindictively, selectively, or for political animus, and judges will tend to throw those cases out if they believe it's vindictive. To respond to Comey's argument, the Department of Justice has submitted these many dozens of pages saying it's not vindictive, that people could see that image James Comey posted of seashells and believe it was a call to arms and a call to take action against Trump. Part of their argument is that Comey is being amplified, the Department of Justice says, by a, quote, biased media and biased media coverage of the seashells. I don't know where that's going to go with the judge in North Carolina. And they're drawing a line between what Comey posted and a potential danger like the ones Trump has already faced in 4 potential assassination threats. We'll see what the judge in New Bern, North Carolina decides in the next few weeks. I don't expect him to rule immediately, but I did talk to a former prosecutor in that office, the Eastern District of North Carolina, who said he does not expect this case to survive or go to trial. And that's a former prosecutor who is aligned with the president.
Scott McFarland joining us from the nation's capital. We got through our primary here, Scott, about a week ago, and I know it's kind of primary season. I'm wondering if there are other states where folks in Wisconsin should be kind of paying attention to what is happening. You quoted the obsession of the race in the nation's capital. I'm sure there are others that you're very much paying attention to. But for those who live in Wisconsin, should it be noteworthy what's happening in Michigan or Florida or other states in the country for any reason?
I'm going to give you 2. Because, Greg, 2 for the price of 1, because you and Jess are both my favorites. Let's talk about Florida and Massachusetts. In Massachusetts, that has a very, very late primary for some reason, September 1st. Like there's like no runway to the general election after their primary, but they're having an absolute referendum on youth and a youth movement. The incumbent senator, Ed Markey, Democrat, 80 years old, is getting challenged by one of the most prominent House members from Massachusetts, 47-year-old Seth Moulton. They're making a generational argument there. And we'll see if there's a youth movement after what happened to President Biden in 2024 that plays itself out in Massachusetts. And they also have a U.S. House primary there in the 8th District, where a very senior 2-decade member of Congress is being challenged by a younger Democrat. It's really a referendum on age. Watch that. Florida last night, hoo boy. This was the best sign yet of the anti-establishment wave that is unfurling in America. It's not anti-Trump. It's not anti-blue. It is anti-establishment. Whoever's in power is getting a wave of energy against them. Trump endorsed some candidates in Florida for Republican nominations, and those candidates did not win. It used to be unheard of that a Trump-endorsed GOP candidate wouldn't win a primary. That's happening, including in Trump's home state of Florida. That's an anti-establishment symptom. Democrats, they put several millions of dollars behind their candidate, Alex Vindman, to be the nominee for U.S. Senate. He got boat raced by somebody with no money, who's a Democratic Socialist local state rep from Jacksonville. No money. Anti-establishment. The establishment of the party wanted Alex Vindman, so Democrats went the other way. That is what is happening in this unique political cycle. Not sure who among Tom Tiffany and David Crowley is more anti-establishment. They both kind of are in power right now, but down ballot. Look for that dynamic in Wisconsin as we get closer to November 3rd.
Yeah, when people don't like what's happening right now, they tend to go for the other, and we've definitely seen that in the past. Hey, Scott, you mentioned 2 for $1. Sounds like a great deal, which also, back in the day, remember 12 CDs for a cent? Columbia House shutting down. That seems like it was right up your alley. Were you ever involved with Columbia House?
I still owe them money, so I'm kind of glad they're going out of business. I think I'm suddenly absolved, Jess. It's important for you to know the first cassette I purchased from Columbia House, among the 12 for 1 penny that my mom did not know about, was by the artist Babyface. And if you know Babyface, you know Babyface. If you don't have a proper appreciation for how he defined music of that era in a certain genre.
Yeah, Babyface was big. I did not realize Columbia House was still around, though, until all of a sudden we got the word that it was officially shutting down.
Yes, we're going to get into this much later in the program because I didn't realize it had been around since 1955. It had a different name then, and it was all about getting vinyl to your house. If you lived in a rural area, didn't have a music shop near you, whatever, you could order. And then as media changed, it changed. So my first CD out of Columbia House, was Nirvana. I remember it.
I'm shocked that you remember that. I don't remember, but is it just because you were so excited to get it in the mail?
I remember going to the exclusive company to buy a Blind Melon CD, which I did, and then I got this thing in the mail. I was like, well, wait a minute, I don't have to go to the store at all. I can just order them. So this was the first one I put in, along with Smashing Pumpkins, Stevie Ray Vaughan. I had a bunch right at that 12. And then he had to buy like 5 within a year's time or something like that. Scott, I'm like you. I don't know if I ever paid full price. They're probably still hunting me down, but maybe I'll just send them a check and say thanks for the memories.
Let me just stipulate, it's not my taste, but I would concede that Nirvana, probably a more successful musical group than Jeanne.
Yes. Who was Johnny?
No doubt about that. Always great to connect with Scott McFarland. We'll do it next week, Scott. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Scott.
Summer is the time to enjoy the outside. Enjoy the deck, the patio, the fire pit, the shade, the screen room, the in-ground pool. Enjoy all of it in your own backyard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's top TimberTech decking installer and can deliver a design and build your next maintenance-free deck with a custom screen room and automated pergola. Stop by our Outdoor Living Unlimited showroom at 665 Larry Court in Waukesha or visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
For 70 years, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in the state of Wisconsin. WTMJ's Greg Matzik here. If you got a busted garage door, do not let it get you down. Don't worry. Give my friends at Geis a call today. They will get you back in the game. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster in stock and ready to go, they've got doors and openers for every budget. They even have a beautiful custom design center for you. If you got a custom project, Geis can help you with it. It's Geis, located in Brookfield, right off Barker Road, easy to find, great people, and 70 years experience. Don't think twice. Call Geis and visit geisdoors.com.
If you've ever worried about your heart, if you've ever loved someone with heart disease, if you've ever wondered if you're the one at risk, let's remind ourselves that we are not powerless. Because at the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, we're pushing to outsmart heart and vascular disease by working with you personally to understand your history, assess your risks, and guide you to heart strength. By digging deep with tireless research and offering access to leading-edge clinical trials. And for the most serious conditions, including heart failure, heart valve disease, arrhythmias, and vascular diseases, we provide renowned expertise and the most advanced life-saving procedures you expect from academic medicine. So let's get out in front of heart disease. Let's outsmart it. Let's keep pushing so that every one of us can outrun it and embrace every beautiful day life in Wisconsin has to offer. To learn more about our nationally renowned heart and vascular care, visit froedtert.com/heart.
That'll be $84.52.
Perfect. Grab the bags, honey.
Mom, why do you always check your phone before we pay?
I'm just claiming my cash back on the Upside app. Since we're getting the groceries here and we filled up the car on the way, I've already earned enough this morning to pay for that pizza night we're having Friday.
Wait, so the app pays for pizza?
Not exactly, but the cash I earn on stuff we need helps us pay for the stuff we want. It's just a little win for our family every week.
Get more out of your everyday. Upside is the free app that gets you cash back on routine purchases like gas, groceries, and dining out at more than 100,000 locations nationwide. No points, no rebates, just cash back straight to your wallet. Download the free Upside app and use promo code ACT5 to get a $5 bonus on your first purchase. That's promo code ACT5 to get a $5 bonus. Remember, use promo code ACT5.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Here's a fact about our state that too few Wisconsinites are acting on. Wisconsin has the largest black-white academic performance gap in America, in every grade tested and every subject. It's a gap that has existed for decades, and in many areas, the gap is growing. This is a reality our state simply can't afford to accept. And it's a Wisconsin problem worth all of us understanding. Learn how City Ford Collective is leading the charge for change at cityfordcollective.org.
Get your rock solid guaranteed pre-approval to buy at accunet.com.
Yeah, it was my thing. It was like a big cardboard, tightly packed thing of CDs. It would show up every once in a while in the mailbox from Columbia House. And then BMG was like a rival competitor. And
that sounds
I think
familiar.
they also did pretty well, but I haven't heard of them in a while either.
I don't think I actually did the whole 12 CDs for a cent, but I feel like my dad might have because I remember it. But when I was asking you why you remember that first CD you got, if it was part of it just going to the mailbox and having it be there and like, yes, I love this, kind of that excitement of going to the mailbox and knowing that you should have something like a CD in there. I think, well, I didn't do the CDs, Rolling Stone. When I was younger in high school, I would get Rolling Stone because I loved live music, loved music. And that was something I always looked forward to, going to the mailbox and thinking, oh, maybe today or tomorrow I should have that new Rolling Stone. And it wasn't just the music, but the covers were also a little edgy.
Oh, yeah.
Which is it probably surprises you a little bit. I think you were surprised when I said, really? You had Rolling Stone? Did that surprise you?
A little bit that you had the subscription. Like it just we had Sports Illustrated. That was about the only magazine we got. And that was my Wednesday. Hustled to the mailbox to get Sports Illustrated.
On Wednesday, love that. Yeah, Rolling Stone. Yeah, the covers were so edgy, so it was always kind of interesting to see when you'd pull that out. Sometimes you had Courtney Love on the cover. I think Drew Barrymore was on the cover. Fiona Apple, that's a throwback. You also had Nirvana. Rolling Stone is still around. I don't know that it's printed, but you can read it online.
Yeah. It was much bigger than most magazines too. I mean, it was like a giant. It didn't fit in your typical magazine rack. Like, it was a big magazine.
You're right. Not necessarily the number of pages, just the actual the cover itself. How large it was. You kind of had to roll it to get it in that mailbox.
Yeah. It is 12:57 here on WTMJ. We've got news coming up.
Bank 5-9 has a mission to make lives better. They make it a priority to give back to their customers, communities, and their employees. In fact, Bank 5-9 was just honored again by the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel as a top workplace. That makes 17 years in a row. Want to learn more about working with the great people at Bank 5-9? Visit bank59.com/careers. That's bank59.com/careers. Equal Opportunity Employer, member FDIC.
Well, very grateful for the work Inspired Closets did at our house to redesign and reimagine our master closet, which had become kind of a mess over the course of 9+ years. Builder-grade racking, the shelves were a little too high for my wife to reach consistently. That led to some messes on the floor. Had a big old clunky dresser in there, just not an inviting space until Inspired Closets Milwaukee came over. They did the work. They put in the time, they did the measurements, and they ultimately pieced together an unbelievable solution that has transformed that space. I'm no longer shutting the door to our master closet. It is open. We've got a spot for everything. Things that we want to have behind cabinet doors, we've got behind cabinet doors. Things that we want to have on display, we've got behind glass doors. Laundry pullouts, yep, can't find it, but they are in there. Beautiful job by Inspired Closets Milwaukee. They can do it for you. With any space that needs an organizational touch, rely on Katie and Dan, the wife and husband team. They will dig you out of that mess. No problem. Master closet, linen closet, front hall closet, pantry, laundry room, the mud room. What about those lockers that are seeing so much activity? Well, school is starting soon. Pretty soon you're going to have backpacks and coats and all the things. Well, Inspired Closets can make it organized. See what they can do in your garage. Check out their showroom in Brookfield. It's inspiredclosetsmilwaukee.com.
Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee is setting the stage to rock your socks off. This August, jam out with real rock off. You could win raging prizes to the tune of $300,000. Get in on the jam session by playing with your Potawatomi rewards card for entries. Thursday nights will be a game show battleground for your share of cash and reward play. Real rock off. It's gonna be epic. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Keeping you updated on culture and creativity. What's on Tap with Sandy Max.
In the studio with the co-directors of the new documentary simply titled Uke.
It's combining my two great loves of baseball and dreaming of being a baseball player someday and becoming a filmmaker, and somehow the two worlds have collided.
Now that they know what he was going through, it'll just make his fans love him even more.
Weeknights at 6 on WTMJ and the What's on Tap podcast on WTMJ.com. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Picture this: a perfect summer evening, great friends, and dinner on the patio overlooking a beautiful course. That's Racine Country Club. More than golf, it's a place to relax, gather, and belong. A new energy is here, and you're invited to experience it. From great food to unforgettable events, it's a lifestyle built around community. Whether it's a quick 9 after work, dinner with friends, or a weekend with family, Racine Country Club offers something for everyone year-round. Discover what's new at Racine Country Club. Visit racinecountryclub.com.
Whoop, just doing some roofing on another lovely Wisconsin day. No gimmicks, no shortcuts, it's just roofing done the old-fashioned way. Do you need shingles? Let's mingle. Wisconsin tradition never dwindles. So raise a glass, shake a hand for this old-fashioned brand. Whoop, that's old-fashioned roofing.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. Hey, reminder, it is summer storm season, and weather damage can be a real issue at the house. So if you think you've got a problem, remember, Tri-County Contracting gives free estimates on any potential wind or hail damage. And here's the best part, they can always work directly with your insurance. It's Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. Love your home again, even during the storm season, with Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
Many people feeling close to retirement ask themselves, do I have enough?
Am I missing something?
At Diversified Wealth Strategies, we provide clarity during our complimentary, no-pressure consultation. We're independent advisors using big firm tools with a boutique-style approach.
And no crickets. We stay in touch so you're never left wondering.
At Diversified Wealth Strategies, let us show you how to capture the upside, limit the downside, and feel good inside.
Visit DWstrategies.com.
Securities and investment services offered through Mosaic Wealth Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Mosaic Wealth is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Mosaic Wealth.
prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting WTMJ.com/contests.
That's WTMJ.com/contests.
James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. JamesImaging.com.
The tide's turning in Milwaukee. The Mariners are in town. But in these waters, the crew runs the ship.
Henderson kicks, delivers, and a swing and a miss. Oh, what a nasty changeup. Down and away from Henderson. Ohtani just casting his bat hopelessly.
The Brewers take on the Mariners tonight at American Family Field. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts at 6:05 on the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
I'm Greg Mansick. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Wednesday, August 19th. Your top story, reopening a popular senior center in Milwaukee.
I'm Jessica Ty. Why Texas police are searching for license plates in Ohio.
Mostly sunny, less humid today, no rain, good deal of sun and a high of 78. Partly cloudy tonight and a low of 61. 75 and partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 103. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a Milwaukee County Senior Center receiving an upgrade for the first time in over 50 years.
Rose Senior Center just reopened following a $4 million renovation aimed at aiding over 700 seniors in the Milwaukee area. Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley tells WTMJ the investment shouldn't be the last for senior centers around the county.
It's the first time, particularly with this senior center in over 50 years, that we've been able to renovate it, and we want to continue to do that moving forward. We are making sure that our older adults have a seat at the table and reimagining what their future looks like for them.
Crowley says the county is also working on a new space for the Kelly Senior Center, which closed after the historic flooding last August. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
Investigators are trying to pinpoint what caused a fire this morning at St. Francis de Sales Seminary. Flames were seen at the front porch of Henny Hall during construction. St. Francis Fire Chief Nicholas Poplar.
Any damage to an 1800s building is extensive, but being that it is exterior in nature, things that have to be identified are smoke damage, water damage, things of that nature. So that's all way down the line.
No injuries reported.
Buc-ee's Boulevard is coming to Oak Creek after the company struck a $300,000 deal with the city.
The Common Council unanimously agreed to rename part of Elm Road in exchange for $350,000 from Buc-ee's. Additionally, the city will give $15,000 annually for marketing and a Visit Oak Creek kiosk inside the mega gas station. Mayor Daniel Bukevich.
Even more importantly is our presence within the store. I think that says a lot because that's in perpetuity. As the city grows and changes to get information out to visitors, that can help spur other local businesses.
Buc-ee's is expected to open in 2028. Jen Gregg, WTMJ News.
The latest twist in the debate over automated license plate readers is raising eyebrows in 2 states.
In Lucas County, Ohio, the law enforcement agency conducting the highest number of searches of flock camera data is not in neighboring Fulton County. It isn't even in Ohio.
Houston, there is a problem.
Pete Gherkin heads the Board of County Commissioners in Toledo and says Houston police have searched the Lucas County flock database over 71,000 times since June.
I was surprised. Why are they doing this?
Police say these may not have been specific searches of Lucas County, but nationwide searches of databases that include Lucas County. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
And the Supreme Court struck down part of President Trump's sweeping tariffs on imports, leaving many wondering when consumers might see those rebates. News Nation's Hannah Brandt.
The Trump administration has started issuing refunds for that round of tariffs, but those refunds at this point, they're going to big businesses, places like Amazon, UPS, Apple, Nike, just to name a few. They have issued over $1 billion in refunds to those companies. Some of the companies say that they are indeed going to pass along the refunds to consumers. At this point, we don't have any information about whether that has happened. But to this point, the Trump administration has paid more than half of the tariffs it made back directly to those companies.
One of the latest companies to receive a refund, Target, an estimated $994 million. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything remains in the green with the Dow up 125 points at 53,466. NASDAQ up about 70 at 26,354. And the S&P up about 25 points today at 7718. For sound financial advice from a fee-only fiduciary, it's Annex Wealth Management. Go to annexwealth.com. Click on the Get Started button today.
Run after run after run. How about them Brewers? Sports, traffic, and weather next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 107.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since, I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars, every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told you so.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Loziga. Nobody likes backups, not on I-94 and definitely not in your own backyard. That's why I'm so glad we called Comfort Awnings. Now our outdoors time isn't delayed by rain or the scorching afternoon sun. One touch of a button gives us instant shade and shelter while also protecting us from harmful UV rays. So instead of heading inside when it gets too hot or starts to rain, we can enjoy the patio for longer. Don't let any more of the summer pass you by. Right now, get $200 off any awning or screen. Call 414-Awnings or visit comfortawnings.com.
If you're in charge of uniforms and equipment, you want to get the most value for your team's budget. You want the most for your money, and you want the process to be easy. Because you already have enough on your plate. We get it. Burghardt Sporting Goods Team Outfitting Division is the best you'll find. With an abnormally high customer satisfaction rate and our own silk screening and embroidery facility for quality control. So if you want the highest quality team outfitting and incredible service,
You can't beat Burghardt.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. Packers wide receiver Matthew Golden continues to impress during training camp with Romeo Dobbs and Dontavian Wicks gone. Golden, in his second year, figures to be a more prominent target for quarterback Jordan Love.
He's just going out there and he's putting it all together right now, so it looks great. I'm excited to see him when we get to the season, but he's making plays. We all know what he can do when the ball's in the air, the types of catches he can make. So I think for him, it's just understanding how to run routes a certain way, how to get open, the timing. He's doing a great job.
Packers travel to Denver to face the Broncos Friday night in preseason game number 2. And Dustin May takes the mound for the Brewers tonight in game 2 of a 3-game series against the Mariners. Milwaukee begins today 4.5 games ahead of the Cubs for first place in the NL Central. Coverage of tonight's game begins at 6:05.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. We're doing very well. No crashes to report, just a couple disabled vehicles that aren't causing problems in southeastern Wisconsin. I do see, if you are traveling in Sheboygan County, I do want to alert you to this. Wisconsin 67 North is closed right now from Golf Course Road to Badger Road because of debris. Greg, it's a golf course road. You think there's some golf balls out there? A group that doesn't play often?
Yeah, 9-iron later on.
I don't know what's going on out there. I don't know exactly what the debris is, I should say. There's something out there on the road, and they have had to close that down. Just got an update here before 1 o'clock. No cameras in that area. A lot of times I like to pull up that camera and see what it is. But I do want to let you know, in case you are traveling in Sheboygan County, that this is significant. Wisconsin 67 North closed right now from Golf Course Road to Badger Road.
This report sponsored by Exterior Pros and Baths. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation. Don't wait until a small problem becomes an expensive one. Visit extpros.com. Exterior Pros and Baths. Done right. Built to last.
Beautiful day today. Comfortable temperatures. Little mix of sun and clouds and a high of 78 degrees. Comfortable overnight with a low of 61. Tomorrow, high 80 degrees. Plenty of sunshine. Just some high clouds possible throughout the day. Next chance of rain appears to be throughout the day on Friday with a high of 82. 76 degrees right now and partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 111.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Watching the Brewer game last night as the tornado sirens were going off, my wife's like, hey, what are they doing here for the game? When is the last time you watched a Brewer game or the game was happening and a tornado warning hit? And sure enough, they had a note on the Jumbotron saying, we're in touch with our meteorologist. We are in no direct threat here. And unfortunately, some others were. Part of what we're covering here today on Wisconsin's Midday News.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, cleanup is in full force this afternoon after another strong summer storm in southeast Wisconsin. Severe storms last night brought heavy rain and wicked winds. Numerous trees were uprooted in parts of Milwaukee. Power lines came down. Sussex was hit hard too. That's a community still recovering from a tornado in April. The National Weather Service has a team out today assessing the damage to pinpoint whether it was caused by a low-grade tornado or straight-line winds.
This was an interesting one because that's right in our area, Sussex, Lisbon, Menominee Falls, and we heard the warnings. We went into the basement. I didn't really sense anything other than some high winds and kind of a normal thunderstorm is what it felt like to me, but others in our area very close to us had quite a bit more damage. So the swath of land that we live on was really untouched aside of anything but rain.
Yeah, some of the pictures coming out of parts of Milwaukee right now, you've got trees that are down on cars and just tons of trees uprooted. And here we go again. A lot of people are saying with these strong storms. I pulled the peppers in and some of the plants, and then I went for the shower. Stayed in there for a little bit. You could hear the wind. You could hear it.
Number 2, not sure where that Amazon delivery is? Well, maybe keep your eye on the skies. Amazon expanding drone delivery of everyday items to millions of potential customers.
In communities across 7 states, Amazon drones can be seen hovering over homes, lowering their payload of household items and then flying off to make their next delivery. Amazon Prime Air plans to serve nearly 500 cities and towns by the end of this year, dropping off packages within 60 minutes of the order being placed.
Packages must weigh 5 pounds or less. That's the thing. So if you order that barbell set, Amazon's not going to drop it in your front lawn from a drone. But if you order a set of toothbrushes or maybe some cat food or something like that, yes, you might have this drone launching from a local facility covering a 175 square foot area, dropping it off at your location. They fly autonomously. Nobody needed to fly it. Eligible items and delivery options show up automatically at checkout. So if you're in the area where this is allowed, it's a delivery option. You just click on it, and there you go. Wisconsin not involved yet. Not yet. The 7 states where you could do this: Arizona, Florida, Kansas, Louisiana, Michigan, Nebraska, and Texas.
It's a speedy delivery. Number 3, the Milwaukee Brewers tie the MLB record for most lopsided shutout win. The Brew Crew beat the Mariners 22-0 last night. Listen to some of these headlines from Newsweek. Brewers torch Mariners in historically lopsided shutout. From Sports Illustrated, Brewers a record-tying blowout win aided by Mariners stars' embarrassing mistake. And the New York Times, Mariners endured a 22-0 disaster. On X today, the Brewers posted, "Sit back, relax, and enjoy all 22 runs." Needless to say, Brewers manager Pat Murphy was pleased.
Yeah, I'd like to order that every night if we could order that. I'll take that off the menu.
It was quite the night at the ballpark. 22 runs, 4 home runs. Fans also dealt with the tornado warning issued from Milwaukee County during the game.
And the 2-strike pitch as phones start buzzing at American Family Field, all in unison.
Brewers put a message about the tornado warning up on the Jumbotron, but also noted its team of local meteorologists told them there was no immediate threat to American Family Field, so play ball they did. They were balling out of control.
What a crazy night. After being in the basement for like an hour, my daughter said, we watched the game. They love watching baseball. We were watching it downstairs, and we got the kitchen cleaned up when the all clear was evident. They said, can we just watch the rest of the game before we go to bed? I was like, yeah, sure. It's getting to the later part of the game. It was 8th inning. And then they scored 9 runs in the 8th inning, and they were up for like another hour. I was like, what am I watching right now? This is ridiculous.
And Greg, some people might be wondering if they didn't watch the game, some of those headlines that are talking about the Mariners stars' embarrassing mistake. What was that?
Well, it's okay. So there was the Brewers, I think, had the bases loaded. And there was a fly ball hit to center field. There's only 1 out. And the center fielder catches the ball and then takes the ball and chucks it into center field, like into the stands. And in fact, I think it went over the bleachers in left center field. He thought there were 2 out and the inning was over. So he just launched the ball out of the stadium. And I was like, well, what the heck is that? Right? So the guy tags up from third, and then another Brewer scores who was on second. So it was, in essence, a 2 RBI sacrifice fly. The guy lost track of outs playing center field.
Wow. Well, it was a clobberfest.
22-0. Unbelievable. It's 1:16. Our weekly wellness check bumped up a day because of Brewers baseball after this.
Hi, I'm Matt Dorner, CEO of Milwaukee Downtown Bid 21. Downtown Employee Appreciation Week is back August 17th through the 21st, with daily giveaways, office challenge games, and much more. It's all designed to boost your team's spirits. Learn how your company can participate at MilwaukeeDowntown.com.
Siding Unlimited is truly siding and a whole lot more the best in the business when it comes to installation of high-quality products, including Pella Windows, LP Smart Side Siding. The best in roofing? You got it. Siding Unlimited. Any way to beautify and protect your home's exterior, Siding Unlimited can help you like they've helped us over the years at the homes we've lived in. No one better than Eric and Aaron Brown and the wonderful teams at Siding Unlimited. Check them out at their showroom or visit sidingunlimited.com.
Want to stay up to date with the crew?
Chopper to third. Double play ball. Muncy goes to second one. On to first. Double play.
Tune in to Brewers Extra Innings with Dominic Cotroneo after every game.
For William, I don't know if what's best for him is sitting on the bench and watching the game, because at the same time that you want to get as much production as possible, you also need to get William Contreras going.
Or listen anytime on the Brewers All Access podcast feed. We are your home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
Doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case.
Time for our weekly wellness check with Dr. Ben Weston, professor of emergency medicine at the Medical College of Wisconsin and chief health policy advisor for Milwaukee County. Happy Wednesday, Dr. Weston.
Happy Wednesday. Good to be with you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us here. Wanted to ask you about something that is commonly sold over the counter and aids in sleep. A couple of different options here. Melatonin and magnesium. I know parents are thinking about getting their kids back to a more regular routine of when to go to bed. That can be challenging if you stay up a little later in the summer and school begins. These are supplements, melatonin and magnesium, touted to support sleep. What's the difference between the two, and how does each affect our sleep habits?
Yeah, so they are pretty different, actually. So melatonin is a hormone, and our bodies produce this naturally and in response to darkness. It helps to regulate our circadian rhythm. That's our sleep-wake cycle. And it signals to our body this nighttime, and that you should start getting ready for sleep. Now, that's different from magnesium. Magnesium is a mineral. We normally get this through foods, nuts, seeds, whole grains, vegetables. And it plays a role in a lot of processes through our body, not just sleep, but muscle and nerve function as well. It does also help with relaxation and calming our nervous system. So that's how it kind of plays in with sleep as well. So melatonin regulates the timing of sleep, whereas magnesium is more about supporting some of the processes that help our body to relax.
Towards the end of my time anchoring morning news, after doing it for like 17 years, there was a point where I was getting, I know, right? You laugh because it's a lot, right? Getting up at that time. So here's the thing, though. There were so many days I was getting like 4 hours of sleep. I mean, sometimes you'd have this wacky schedule because you're getting up at 1 o'clock in the morning. I might MC an event, and then you just can't go home and go to bed right after that. So every once in a while, when I knew what would happen, you'd worry because you gotta be on, you want to be on. So I did start to take some melatonin gummies on nights like that, where I just thought, okay, I want to wake up refreshed. But I'll be honest, I'm not really sure if they worked or not. Do these things actually work, and is one better for your sleep than another?
Yeah, and you'll hear that from different people, that one works better than the other. But as far as the evidence, melatonin has better evidence for certain sleep timing problems. So things like jet lag or changing your sleep schedule. Now, some people also find that taking melatonin helps them fall asleep a little bit faster. Magnesium's a little more complicated. There is some research suggesting it may help with sleep quality, especially for people with low magnesium levels. That would be a different sort of story. But the research on magnesium for sleep is mixed, and we certainly could use a little more evidence to know its effectiveness. Some people say it works great, some people not so much, but in the general population, it's hard to say.
I have taken it before. I don't typically, but I have taken it before, and I did find that it kind of calmed me down naturally, but I also found that I was up at like 4 a.m. What the heck happened here? It wore off, and all of a sudden I was awake. What are the side effects here, Dr. Weston? And along with that, is it safe for kids versus adults? And is it the same dose? How do you go about doing this pending your age?
Right. So both are generally considered safe for adults. and are available over the counter. But that doesn't mean they're completely risk-free. So melatonin, for example, can cause headaches, dizziness, feeling drowsy the next day, like you mentioned. Taking more doesn't necessarily mean it works better either. Magnesium can cause some stomach upset, nausea, stomach cramping, even diarrhea. Now, before trying supplements to help you sleep, and certainly for your kids, because these are not things that you want to be typically giving your kids over long periods of time, you want to focus on the basics. So the basics include different sleep hygiene sort of things. So keeping a consistent sleep and wake schedule. You want your room to be dark and quiet. You want to give yourself some time to wind down before bed. You want to avoid looking at screens. This is really important for kids to not have screen times before bed, but even for adults. The light coming off from that screen and just the stimulation to our brain makes it harder for you to fall asleep. So if you're consistently having trouble sleeping, or your kids are, it's certainly worth checking with your healthcare provider. They might be able to determine some root problems and whether something like melatonin or magnesium might help, or if it's something even simpler.
We're talking with Dr. Ben Weston for a weekly wellness check. There's been a lot of conversation recently around reproductive health and egg freezing, because you had a congresswoman who came out and recently shared her experience. AOC, she opened up about freezing her eggs. She says she doesn't regret it. How does freezing your eggs work, Dr. Weston?
Yeah, so women are born with all the eggs that they'll ever have already produced in their body. Now that number naturally decreases as they age. And it's not just the number of eggs that decline, but it's the sort of quality of those eggs that decreases as women age as well. And that's why age is one of the biggest factors that your doctor will talk to you about when considering this process. There isn't a perfect age for everyone, but fertility specialists often recommend thinking about egg freezing if you think you're going down that road before the mid-30s, which may seem early to a lot of people. Now, the first step is meeting with a reproductive endocrinologist. This is a fertility specialist who can examine your individual health and fertility and kind of discuss your options. And from there, it's a multi-step process that can take some time. It can be medications, monitoring, several appointments, certainly, and then the egg retrieval process itself.
So, Dr. Weston, is this a costly venture if you move down this path?
Yeah, I mean, cost is definitely one of the biggest barriers to a lot of folks. Egg freezing can be very expensive. And even when insurance does at times provide some coverage, there still typically are significant out-of-pocket costs. And the costs don't necessarily end once the eggs are frozen. There's storage fees, and then if you do IVF, there's significant cost associated with that as well.
Dr. Weston, how safe is freezing your eggs for a woman?
Yeah, I mean, overall, it's considered quite safe. It's a well-established fertility preservation option. The medications and the egg retrieval procedures, of course, like anything else, have some risk, but serious complications are really quite uncommon when the procedures performed under the appropriate care and appropriate monitoring. Now, it doesn't guarantee that you'll have a baby in the future, but it does provide options based on personal circumstances for certain people. Now, ultimately, it's a very personal decision. The best place to start is by talking with your healthcare provider, likely then talking with a fertility specialist who can explain benefits, limitations, costs, as well as the potential risks based on your individual situation.
Hey, Dr. Weston, before we let you go, I wanted to ask you about this recent research that indicates blood tests may help in identifying Alzheimer's years before symptoms appear. We always look at Alzheimer's like a great mystery, like there is no cure. If you have it, boy, there's no way to really get out of it. But what do these blood tests look for, and how do they help in diagnosing this most awful of diseases?
Yeah, I mean, we know that Alzheimer's is about 60 to 80% of all dementia cases, the leading cause of cognitive decline in adults. Now, what the blood tests do is they look for several of the proteins that are associated with Alzheimer's. Now, the tests are approved for adults 55 and older with cognitive symptoms, and they help to diagnose Alzheimer's. But it's important to know that these are not standalone diagnostic tests. They don't say yes or no. They have to be interpreted alongside symptoms and other evaluations. And what's important about this is traditionally the tests are pretty involved. PET scans, spinal taps to look for these proteins. It's expensive, it's time consuming, and of course it's invasive. So these blood tests could change the kind of scope of how Alzheimer's is diagnosed, making it more easy and more accessible.
So Dr. Weston, what exactly do the blood tests look for, and how do they help in diagnosing Alzheimer's?
Yeah, so what they're looking for are these specific proteins that are related to Alzheimer's. beta amyloid and tau proteins. What they do is they build up abnormally in the brain. They can form these plaques and then tangles, and that can lead to damage and death of brain cells and brain shrinkage. So what they're doing is they're looking for these proteins. It's not a slam dunk to say you have it, but it's a clue along with the other symptoms that somebody might be demonstrating.
Dr. Ben Weston joining us here in our weekly wellness check. Dr. Ben, we appreciate your time. We'll do it again next week.
All right, take care. We'll talk to you soon.
You too. It's 1:27 here on WTMJ.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scafidi here for QC Kinetics. When your joints hurt every day and you've been told you need surgery, do your homework. Remember, once the joint is replaced, there's no going back. Before you schedule surgery, consider getting a second opinion from QC Kinetics. Whether you're dealing with pain from bone-on-bone arthritis, a torn meniscus, or years of wear and tear, surgery isn't the only conversation you should have. Talk to Dr. Ashley Caravelli and her team at QC Kinetics about how they use regenerative treatments to deliver relief to patients like you here in Greenfield and Mequon. You start with a medical evaluation, reviewing your history, any imaging, and the actual source of your pain. If you're a good candidate, they'll concentrate tiny healing tools within your body right in the spot that's actually causing the pain. The whole idea is to give you a real shot at holding off on surgery, or in some cases, avoiding it altogether. And that's why it makes sense to explore every option before making a decision that could change your life. Don't just accept surgery is your only choice. Call QC Kinetics today for a second opinion and know your options. The conversation and consultation are totally free. Call QC Kinetics at 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. QC Kinetics.
Hey, thanks, Steve. Wisconsin's hometown pizza is Palermo's, made right here in the state of Wisconsin. Delicious. Morning, noon, or night. When I say morning, I mean that. They do have a breakfast pizza made by Palermo's. Have you seen it? It can be found wherever you like to shop. Now through the 25th of August, a limited time here at Sendix, you can save on Connie's. $4.99. That is a premium pizza at a great price. Now through the 25th of August, get Connie's, made by Palermo's, in the frozen aisle at Sendix for $4.99. Pick up a variety. There is a slice for every appetite. Connie's might be the perfect one for you. Maybe it's a Primo Thin that you're craving, or an urban pie. How about Screamin' Sicilian? All made by Palermo's. All delicious. Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
Welcome back to Ask Hasslis. I'm Weston. What's your question?
Is this one of those viral pranks?
Beg your pardon?
I think you promote Hasslis Mattresses employee-free showrooms just to lure me in so you can film a practical joke on me to go viral.
Sir, I assure you, we take employee-free mattress shopping very seriously.
What do? Tie me to a bed and spray me with silly string?
We simply let you try our selection of Beauty Rest, Sealy Posturepedic, and more without commission-crazy salespeople breathing down your neck.
Good one.
Others sell a Beauty Sleep by Beauty Rest Queen Elm Cove A mattress for $1,599. But Hasslis has it for just $794.
Sure you do.
And through Monday, get a free adjustable base with the purchase of a select Sealy Posturepedic or Beauty Rest mattress. Plus, free next day delivery.
So shopping at Hasslis won't make me TikTok famous?
Absolutely not.
Darn.
Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you or shop online at Hasslis.com.
You know, I mean, your home is about as personal as it gets, right?
We want to build a relationship with homeowners, not only educating them, but we're getting to know them and allowing them an opportunity to get to know us.
Yeah, the interview goes both ways. Mm-hmm. Getting to know people while also serving them. It's so much more than just, okay, we're replacing your roof.
Besides that, it's just the right thing to do. See how Big Fish Contracting is renovating homes and redeeming an industry at bigfishcontracting.com.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Reports that another Navy ship experienced operational issues. The USS Benfold destroyer lost power in the South China Sea, leading to the collapse of the ship's water system. Crews also say they did not have working toilets, potable water, or air conditioning for days. ABC News contributor and former Defense Department official Mick Mulroy says it raises more questions.
How did all the generators fail? Because they are redundant. They are designed so that they can have a problem with some of them, but they won't lose all power. Because when they lose all power, they lose all propulsion. So it is a significant issue. It's actually better it happened here rather than when they got into theater and they were part of the naval blockade, for example.
President Trump downplaying primary race losses and touted the Republican governor's race in Florida. His pick, Representative Byron Donalds, winning the GOP nomination for the midterm elections. He'll face Democrat David Jolly. On Wall Street, stocks are trading higher this hour. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:31. Decision Wisconsin. A series of fights on the last day of the Wisconsin State Fair now becoming part of the conversation around the race for governor. Fights left one officer injured and led to 7 arrests Sunday night. Democratic candidate for governor, Milwaukee County Executive David Crawley tells WTMJ the fair is controlled by the state and not Milwaukee County.
State Fair is actually controlled by the state of Wisconsin, and which is controlled by the Republican-controlled legislature. And so we want to make sure that we're providing safe spaces, working directly hand in hand, not just with law enforcement, but our community violence interrupters in general. As county executive, I work with all of our local municipalities to make sure that they have the resources that they need.
In a statement on social media, Republican candidate for governor, Congressman Tom Tiffany, called out Crawley's leadership of the county as failed.
A man charged with beating a 99-year-old woman in Milwaukee is pursuing an insanity plea.
Joseph Macias faces several felony charges, including battery and reckless injury to an elder person, after he allegedly broke into a woman's home and immediately began beating her on the south side of the city. The case is also under investigation by the City Department of Emergency Communications after the victim waited 3 hours for help to arrive after 2 911 calls. Macias pled not guilty by reason of insanity or mental defect, and a judge ordered a doctor's evaluation. He's due back in court in October. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Milwaukee Public Schools facing a federal investigation over whether race is being considered when students are disciplined.
The investigation was announced Tuesday as the U.S. Department of Education issued new guidance on school discipline. Federal officials say MPS education leaders have questioned whether some neutral discipline policies reflect systemic whiteness and may have encouraged officials to consider race. MPS says it received notice of the investigation Tuesday and needs more information before responding. The investigation is one of 2 opened by the department, the other school district in Arkansas. The federal guidance says schools must apply discipline policies evenly regardless of a student's race. Nasir Spencer, WTMJ News.
The Milwaukee County Transit System is celebrating the next generation of bus drivers. They have a program that pairs apprentices with MCTS mentors who share one-on-one training and hands-on experience. MCTS Director Joe Lamers.
In Milwaukee County, we are focused on creating long-term economic stability and opportunities for our families. This program does that, both for the apprentices who are being connected to new careers and for our riders who can count on safe and reliable public transportation, which is a critical lifeline to work, school, and medical appointments.
This is the first group to graduate from the program.
Wisconsin wildlife officials asking people to report dead or sick deer as a disease outbreak continues in Washington County.
The DNR has confirmed epizootic hemorrhagic disease, or EHD, in deer found near Richfield and West Bend. Deer herd health specialist Aaron Larson tells WTMJ the agency is seeing an influx of reports with more than 100 deer reported so far.
Even though we are, experiencing this deer mortality event, we do have a robust deer herd in Wisconsin.
Larson says EHD outbreaks generally have little long-term impact on the state's deer population. The virus is spread by biting flies and poses no risk to humans. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
The Medical College of Wisconsin's new president is prioritizing the school's core missions. CEO and president, Dr. Shaker Kirpod.
Our clinical mission, our research, education, they're all important. They're all interconnected. You are training tomorrow's minds, which are the young minds of today, to become great researchers and great clinicians so they can take care of people not only here in Wisconsin, but also all over the world.
Dr. Kirpod became the CEO and president of MCW on July 1st, succeeding Dr. John Raymond.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 1:35.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for Griffin's Hub. If you've been waiting for the right time to upgrade your ride, this is it. Griffin's Hub is making August a huge month to save. Right now, you can lease a brand new Jeep Cherokee 4x4 Laredo for just $381 a month for 42 months with $39.99 down plus tax and fees with approved credit. That's an outstanding way to get behind the wheel of a legendary Jeep. Or if you've had your eye on a new truck, check this out. Griffin's Hub has a 2026 Ram Rebel for just $59,340. That's an incredible $18,000 off MSRP. One of the biggest savings you'll see all year on a Ram Light Duty. Whether you're looking for SUV capability or truck toughness, Griffin's Hub has the deals to get you moving. Visit Griffin's Hub today or shop online at griffinshubchryslerjeepdodge.com. But don't wait. August offers end August 31st. See Griffin's Hub for complete details. Offers available with approved credit, lease, and purchase offer. Expires August 31st, 2026.
Hey, remember when your basement was just for storage? WTMJ's Greg Matzik here. With Matrix Basement Finishing, they turn that empty space into the heart of your home. It's what they did for us. Whether it's a cozy family movie night or cheering on your favorite team during the best time of the year to watch sports. From the design consultation to picking out your perfect flooring and fixtures, the process is seamless and done at your home. Get the quality craftsmanship you deserve with no payments until 2028. And visit matrixbasements.com.
Unlock big savings now at Menards. Add style and security to your home with high-quality Schlage door locks. Whether you're looking for a traditional interior passage lock or a Wi-Fi compatible electronic entry lock, Menards has you covered with more than 200 options of Schlage door locks in stock. Save big in our huge in-stock selection of Schlage door locks. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
No matter what business you're in, as the #1 SBA lender in Wisconsin, Summit Credit Union helps your vision take shape with loan programs, great rates, and strategic solutions.
Awarded the #1 SBA lender by the Small Business Administration of Wisconsin in 2025.
When you've been injured, you need a winning team on your side. Gruber Law Offices will fight for the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports desk. Playing with an edge, something defensive coordinator Jonathan Gannon is preaching in Green Bay in his first year, and something veteran linebacker Zaire Franklin is bringing.
My mentality in between the white lines is ultra competitor, like ultimate alpha. Like I want to challenge the best, the biggest. I don't want a little guy. I want to go against the bad out there. That's how I feel. I feel like I'm the best. I'm the baddest on the planet when I'm on the field. That's just my mentality.
Packers head coach Matt LaFleur says Jordan Love will play in Friday's preseason game against the Broncos in Denver. Brewers look to win the series tonight against the Mariners. Game 2 of a 3-game set at American Family Field. A successful rehab assignment for rookie shortstop Cooper Pratt could result in his return as early tonight. Milwaukee begins the day 4.5 games up on the Cubs for first place in the division. Coverage gets underway at 6:05.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. We're doing very well in southeastern Wisconsin. No crashes to report. If you are traveling in Sheboygan County, heads up on this one. There's a closure. It's not a long closure, but it is significant. Wisconsin 67 North is closed right now from Golf Course Road to Badger Road. How very Wisconsin is that? Because of debris. I always like to tell you what debris is out there on the roads if I can see it, but there are no cameras up on that area. So I can let you know that there is something out on the roads, and because of that, Wisconsin 67 North is closed right now from Golf Course Road to Badger Road.
Well, a couple of days of sun and relatively low humidity after kind of a wild night last night. If you're at the ballpark and your phone's going off, tornado warnings for Milwaukee County and all different areas here, Waukesha County, pretty much everybody in it at some point last night. Well, thank goodness we are through it, but the cleanup continues today. We welcome in TMJ4 meteorologist Jacob Montesano. Hi, Jacob.
Hey there. Yeah, it was a pretty intense line that came through. I was home at the time because I was off, and we were in our basement as well. Our area where I live, it kind of weakened a little bit, but a lot of damage reports near Wauwatosa, Menominee Falls, downtown Milwaukee, and the center of rotation was like heading towards the Brewer Stadium, and they didn't take cover, which is an interesting choice. That's all I'll say.
So last night, well, I know right now, actually happening now, you've got the National Weather Service that has a team out assessing the damage to pinpoint whether it was caused by a low-grade tornado or straight-line winds. I imagine your gut says something. You guys are the experts here. What are you thinking about as to what the cause of, there were a lot of trees that got uprooted. You had power lines that came down. It wasn't a long storm, didn't happen for a long time, but it was kind of nasty.
Yeah, it's hard to say exactly because obviously these tornadoes can be very brief, but the way the system's set up, it very much did look like it was more of a straight line wind event because there was like very strong winds on the radar, like from north of Menominee Falls to south of Wauwatosa. And obviously, tornadoes aren't that big. So that makes me think it was just a line of very strong winds that kind of pushed through that area and then continued into the downtown area.
I was interested to see how the damage would be around our property when we came back upstairs after being in the basement for an hour. And I don't want to diminish what happened because it was significant. The sirens were going off and the wind was blowing around a little bit. But I noticed my grill cover was still on, and I had a chair that it very easy to tip over, was over, and that was about it. But I had friends of mine who are maybe a mile away, different subdivision, but very close, that had all sorts of issues, right? Stuff blowing all over the place, one of their smaller trees kind of bent in half. So it was kind of interesting to see how different areas had different levels of damage, even if they were in close proximity.
Yeah, that definitely could happen. It could be something as simple as, the way that the specific things were in relation to a building. Obviously, if you're right up against the building and the wind's coming from behind you, you're not going to really get a lot of wind because there's a building behind you blocking it. That could be one example. It could just be, like other wind tunnels, or maybe there were just, some isolated locations that saw, very strong winds, even as difference of a mile can definitely prove a big difference, even in storms that affect everybody.
Right now, you've got crews out there doing some cleanup work. They're taking saws to those trees that came down, picking up branches. You've got We Energies that's out working on the power lines. Obviously, it's a nice afternoon to do that. Are we going to stay for a couple of days with this nice weather to kind of clean up after last night?
Yeah, we're actually going to have a very nice stretch of weather going forward. Right now, the only chance of rain is Friday. Looks like we'll just see some regular showers and thunderstorms. Not looking too severe, although when we were forecasting on Sunday for Tuesday, it also didn't look very severe, and obviously things change. So we'll have to keep an eye on it, but that's really the only chance of rain. Beyond that, we're looking at the warm days only featuring highs near 80, and most of the days will feature highs in the 70s. And we also will likely see overall just a little bit lower dew points. Now, right now, I noticed when I was doing the noon live for the Kenosha County Fair, here in Kenosha County, the dew points are still in the upper 60s, but most of the areas in the 50s, and actually Fond du Lac had a dew point of 48. So it is a lot better dew point wise, and obviously the temperatures are comfortable.
Well, we'll hope for good weather here throughout. We'll keep an eye on Friday. Jacob, enjoy the rest of your time. You stay at the Kenosha County Fair today?
Yeah, and we'll be here. We have the chase here throughout the afternoon. We'll be here through the 4 and 5 p.m. shows as well.
Are you a rides guy, Jacob? Do you like to do the rides? I know they've got the Alpine amusements out there. Fury to the Frog Hopper and the Fun Slide.
I do like to do the rides, although I mostly a lot of people have been coming up to talk about the chase or ask about the chaser, so that's been my duties for today.
That's the ride. That's the ride people want to ride on.
That's true.
Right.
All right, good stuff, Jacob. We'll check in again soon. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yep, 144 here on WTMJ. Interesting nugget there about the Brewers game. My wife had asked the same thing. Well, what do you do here? It's not like you're going to send everybody out into the parking lot. Time to go home, everybody. You can't do that. So you got an enclosed ballpark. Maybe going to the restrooms is the most ideal spot to be if a tornado is bearing down on a stadium, but you definitely don't want people out running to their cars.
I feel like, I don't know that it was a tornado, and this was years ago. I don't remember exactly, but I must have been at a Packers game when there was some nasty weather. I feel like it was before the game started, but there were plenty of people there, and we just had to kind of be, you weren't in the stands. They wanted everybody to come out of the stands and then go in the circular area around it just so you had something around you, right? But they have plans. It was interesting to note, though, that Jacob didn't like what happened last night.
Well, apparently he was not one of the meteorologists who was consulted, as the note on the Jumbotron suggested that local meteorologists were in touch with the Brewers and the National Weather Service and so on, and that the stadium was in no imminent danger with the storms that passed through.
By the way, this is a very random note, but since he was at the Kenosha County Fair, I was taking a peek to see what's going on over there. That's when I mentioned the rides, but there's also, Greg, Bear Hollow wood carvers. And the reason I bring this up is because yesterday I got a tip that this is just a fun story, and I thought the person might be a character, might be really interesting to hear about. There is somebody in Brookfield who is carving a tree up and creating a giraffe. And it just looks really interesting. And it's one of those things, if you were driving by, you'd be like, wow, what is that? The kids would love it. So I thought I gotta know more about this. And so I was trying to find the address, and then the person went back to find the address for me. So then I was looking up online to see if I could hunt down the person's phone number. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Well, I found two phone numbers. The first phone number It was no longer in service. Second phone number, I thought I was going to get a Carrie on the other end of the line. I said, hi, is Carrie also at this number? And the man said no. And I said, okay. I said, is there any chance you live at a home where there's a tree in the yard that is being carved up right now to create a giraffe? And as I was saying it, I thought, this person probably thinks I'm high or something, right? Like, who? You just get this random call and you got this woman asking you that question. And he goes, no, but man, I wish I did. So if any of you live in that Brookfield area and you know what I'm talking about and you know whose home that is, hit me up on the text line because I want to know more about that story.
That's a fascinating peek behind the curtain of your day yesterday. It's 1:46 here on WTMJ.
See Europe from a completely new perspective with Fox World Travel and Avalon Waterways. Cruising down legendary rivers like the Danube or the Rhine, your luxury boutique hotel travels with you. Relax in award-winning panorama suites featuring wall-to-wall windows, enjoy premium local wine and dining, and step off directly into the heart of historic castles and villages. Your next incredible river cruise awaits. Call 866-GO-FOX-GO or visit foxworldtravel.com today.
Hey, sounds good, Rose. Appreciate that. Founded by inventors, fueled by community, focused on business. What a great story, the story of Horicon Bank. Founded in the city of Horicon back in 1896. That is amazing. People were going to work in the state of Wisconsin. People were trying to get their lives up and running here in what was relatively a new state. Well, Horicon Bank was there for the community in Horicon. They are still there for you in whatever community you live in. Towson, New Berlin, Menominee Falls, Grafton, West Bend. Those are some of the newer branches for Horicon Bank. Expanding, yes, but they've not lost that community-minded feel. Check in with Horicon Bank and get those financing requests approved in days, not weeks. Your banker understands you and your business. Service and products go hand to hand in Horicon Bank. Check them out online. It's horiconbank.com. Together doing good for 130 years and member FDIC.
The new fractured boulders we now have in stock are really nice. They're squarer and more rectangular in shape, and they're great for building dry-laid retaining walls. They're much easier to deal with, lock together nicely, and you get less gaps. No wet mortar needed. And we've stocked a multitude of colors. You can use them as an accent item to add character to your dry river or creek beds, too. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Our organic mulch is comprised of all trees. Most mulch is made from ground-up pallets, and you don't know what might have been spilled on those pallets. Could be chemicals or who knows what. But not our mulch, we're recycling trees. Many species of hardwoods. Cedar, hemlock, light brown, dark brown, mocha, black, red, gold, and caramel. 7 colors to choose from means a mulch to match any exterior. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
Bank 5-9 has a mission to make lives better. They make it a priority to give back to their customers, communities, and their employees. In fact, Bank 5-9 was just honored again by the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel as a top workplace. That makes 17 years in a row. Want to learn more about working with the great people at Bank 5-9? Visit bank59.com/careers. That's bank59.com/careers. Equal Opportunity Employer, member FDIC.
Tell them you want hardwood, but make it affordable. Vince Vitrano here for Hunt's Flooring. A lot of people think hardwood flooring is out of their price range. We did. Then we visited Hunt's Flooring in Greenfield. Right there on Highway 100, Hunt's has a large inventory of hardwood in stock at discounted pricing. We just got Phil to show us around, see what he had priced to move, and we locked in a great deal. We were able to do our entire first floor. These are in-store deals only, not something you find online. Stop in, take a look, tell them Vinny sent you to Hunt's Flooring in Greenfield.
I met him at your sister's wedding. Yeah, Dad. Who was that guy? Justin. He's from Virginia. And after our guys dropped off our pizza at the reception, he instantly became our biggest fan. He jokingly said to his wife, Jessica, "We're moving to Wisconsin." Yeah, they sure don't get the kind of pizza Marty's has been putting out down there. They sure don't. But folks, you do. If you consider yourself a pizza aficionado and you haven't tried Marty's yet, get in here. And get ready for what a lot of people call the very best pizza they've ever had.
Marty's Pizza. Do you remember when times were good? Well, they're good again. It's as good today as it was in the past. It doesn't get any better than that. Remember Marty's Pizza.
All right, so we got the Brewers game coming up a little later tonight. You can never predict what's going to happen in baseball. I did not realize when I sat down to watch the Brewers game after all the weather had passed, a pretty close game early. It could not have predicted that it was going to turn into the most lopsided shutout win for any team in baseball since 1888.
I feel like we can predict, however, that tonight's game will not be a repeat. And if it was, that would be wild.
I think that is a fair assumption. The Brewers' 22-0 win featured some wild notes. Yes, it tied the largest shutout victory in Major League Baseball since 1888. Also ties the most runs scored in a game since the Brewers became the Brewers. The Milwaukee Braves, for what it's worth, scored 23 in a game in 1957. They scored 5 or more runs in consecutive innings for the first time since 2020. 3 Brewers had 4 RBI, including Christian Yelich, Luis Lara, and David Hamilton in the same game. And all 12 Brewers who got to the plate reached base safely, most in a game since 2022. That is a wild game. So we're watching the end of the game with my daughters, and they absolutely love watching Brewers baseball. We do it as a family. It's great. And they're saying, like, who is this guy pitching for the Mariners? It's like, Dad, I can throw harder than him. And the guy, he was a position player because, well, why waste a bullpen arm if you're the Mariners at that point? He was throwing the ball 40 miles an hour, roughly. And the game last night set another MLB record, the most consecutive pitches at 42 miles per hour or less thrown in a game in Major League Baseball history. That's kind of the foolishness of last night's game.
I was delivering some of the headlines across the country to you at the top of this hour just because it was interesting to see and go Brewers when you hear them. But now I'm seeing, too, there's an opinion piece in USA Today. It says the Mariners have been bad all year. Losing 22-0 is an embarrassment. It's a whole piece written about that. It
is kind of crazy, and it should really underscore how impressive the Brewers' recent run of success truly is. And the Mariners were a couple of wins away from going to the World Series last year. Like they were sort of a team, not out of nowhere, but they had been building, and it just kind of broke through in the American League. Well, they are nowhere close to being in the playoff hunt anymore. Meanwhile, the Brewers are closing in on their 5th division title consecutively. Like that's just an amazing, amazing accomplishment for this golden era of Brewers baseball. Now, certainly you want to see it pay off, but to sustain success in Major League Baseball is not easy.
Did Yelich crush a 3-run homer last night?
He did, and he also hit that very long fly ball to center field with 1 out that plated a run, and then the center fielder for Seattle chucked the ball into the stands because he thought there were 3 out, which allowed another run to score. So, yes, Yelich involved in last night's game.
Well, I like to hear that because it was just yesterday that we were talking to Brewers.com beat writer Adam McCalvey about how Yelich is needed, and he really hasn't been seen so much this season, and how he's really needed if we're going to play through to October.
Power numbers definitely down. Good to see him break through, and he got his home run off a real pitcher, a real Major League pitcher, not a position player who came on to pitch late. Here's how it all sounded last night's game.
1-1. High fly, right center. It is up. It is back. It is gone. Christian Yelich, a 3-run bomb to break this game open. Fly ball right center. That's hit well. Back. It is up. It is gone. David Hamilton hits his 4th home run. It's another 3-run homer, and the route is on. Bowers leans on one to right. It is way back and gone. Lara, fly ball to deep left. Back it goes. It is up and gone. The first big league homer for Luis Lara. Another 3-run home run by the Brewers tonight. It's their 3rd. A historic night at the ballpark as the Brewers rout the Mariners by a final of 22-0. They tie a franchise record with 22 runs.
Yeah, I'd like to order that every night if we could order that. I'll take that off the menu.
Roxy's Resources and Awareness Drive-Thru will be at Bark and Scratch Outpost Sunday, August 23rd from 9 to 11 with free pet food and supplies. 5835 West Blue Mound Road. That's Sunday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. August 23rd. Anyone struggling with pet food can stop by. At Bark and Scratch Outpost, we think outside the bag.
MilwaukeePetFood.com. Bark and Scratch Outpost.
Well, get ready for a festival lineup like no other. It's called WinFest. It's only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel in Milwaukee. Now through September, play with your Potawatomi rewards card for entries. If you don't have a rewards card, no problem. Just head to Potawatomi and sign up for free, so long as you're 21 or older. All monthly promo entries count toward the finale drawing. That'll be Friday, September 25th. Cars, dream vacations, free play, cash, all up for grabs and only at Potawatomi. Take advantage. More information online. Must be 21 years or older and a rewards member to play.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Loziga. Nobody likes backups, not on I-94 and definitely not in your own backyard. That's why I'm so glad we called Comfort Awnings. Now our outdoors time isn't delayed by rain or the scorching afternoon sun. One touch of a button gives us instant shade and shelter while also protecting us from harmful UV rays. So instead of heading inside when it gets too hot or starts to rain, we can enjoy the patio for longer. Don't let any more of the summer pass you by. Right now, get $200 off any awning or screen. Call 414-Awnings or visit comfortawnings.com.
Get all the help you need on your home with WTMJ's Fall Home Improvement Showcase. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Looking for that much-needed update before the cold weather arrives? Check out the services provided from our great partners at Appliance Gallery, Comfort Awnings, Ridgetop Exteriors, and Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. For more information and to see what our partners can do for you and your home, visit WTMJ.com today. It's the Fall Home Improvement Showcase on WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
What do you want retirement to look like? Hi, I'm Tony Drake, Certified Financial Planner and founder of Drake & Associates right here in Wisconsin. For some people, retirement means travel and new adventures. For others, it means spending more time with family or pursuing passions they never had time for before. But turning those goals into a reality takes thoughtful planning. It's not just about saving money. It's about designing an income strategy that supports the life you want while helping your savings last throughout retirement. At Drake & Associates, we help Wisconsin families connect their financial plan with their lifestyle goals, building strategies designed to help support both today's needs and tomorrow's opportunities. My complimentary retirement toolkit can help you begin that process. It includes my book, Get Retirement Ready, and 5 guides covering income planning, taxes, and retirement strategies. Call 414-897-9522 or text the word tax to 414-897-9522 for your no-cost toolkit. That's 414-897-9522 or text the word tax to 414-897-9522. Because retirement planning isn't just about numbers, it's about the life those numbers support.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Transform your home today. Exterior Pros. Trust the pros.
The tide's turning in Milwaukee. The Mariners are in town. But in these waters, the crew runs the ship.
Henderson kicks, delivers, and a swing and a miss. Oh, what a nasty changeup. Down and away from Henderson. And Ohtani just casting his bat hopelessly.
The Brewers take on the Mariners tonight at American Family Field. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts at 6:05 on the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 2 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Wednesday, August 19th. Your top story, damage assessments continue following strong storms in Wisconsin.
I'm Jessica Ty. A child dies trying to get the mail.
Comfortable temperatures today, high of 78 degrees, good deal of sun, little mix of clouds, some possible lake fog tonight and a low of 60 degrees, mostly sunny, light breeze on Thursday, some overnight rain possible, and a high of 80. 76 and partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 201. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, crews assessing the damage across southeast Wisconsin after strong storms knocked down trees and power lines last night. A large tree destroyed a popular pizza restaurant on Milwaukee's west side.
The damage happened in the Washington Heights neighborhood, where the tree fell from behind Y East Pizza and onto the building. The tree broke through the roof and also knocked down power lines along the block. Branches and debris are scattered around the property and nearby sidewalks. The storm brought down trees across Milwaukee, leaving thousands of customers without power. Milwaukee DPW crews are working to clear storm debris, while We Energies crews work to restore all the power. In Milwaukee, Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
Several football coaches at a high school in West Dallas resigned just days before the first game of the season.
Officials at Nathan Hale High School say several members of the coaching staff were placed on administrative leave for a, quote, confidential personnel investigation. They confirmed that there is no concern for any player's safety or well-being. The school's first football game is this Friday. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
An 8-year-old is dead after being struck by a vehicle while checking the mail in northeast Wisconsin. The Taylor County Sheriff's Office says the child stepped into the road to check a mailbox across the street when they were struck Monday afternoon in the township of Aurora. The child was thrown to a ditch and died from injuries. No one in the vehicle was injured.
Captivating testimony today at the Meta trial. A former engineering director says Mark Zuckerberg did not make child safety a priority. The parent company to social media platforms, Facebook and Instagram, is accused of luring teens and kids onto its platforms. ABC's Kana Whitworth.
In a statement, Meta reiterates its record in protecting teens before it became a legal issue and calls the AG's claims limited, adding the states have no proof they were misled. CEO and founder of Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, does plan to testify about introducing time management tools and age verification, which the company acknowledges is an industry-wide challenge.
I was mentioning this former engineering director. It was interesting to hear from him, too. I was checking out some of the testimony, and he said if Mark makes something a priority, mountains move in months. So he's talking about, hey, if he wants something to happen, it happens. But he's saying in this case, he didn't want it to happen. 29 states, including Wisconsin, are suing the tech giant for harming kids' mental health by deliberately designing features that get them addicted to the platforms.
And President Trump announcing a tentative deal to stave off a new 50% tariff on Canadian wine, hockey sticks, and many other goods from north of the border. Tariffs were set to take effect at midnight, but the president said he'd pause those duties for 3 days while the deal is worked out. News Nation's Hannah Brandt.
This pivot on tariffs from the president could have some major economic consequences because Canada is one of the top trading partners of the United States, often rivaled only by trade with Mexico. And these new tariffs on Canada would have taxed billions of dollars worth of goods on things ranging from alcohol to hockey equipment. Canada, for its part, was threatening to retaliate with new tariffs of its own.
The president also hinted an agreement could include restarting Keystone XL, the planned oil pipeline from Alberta to Nebraska that was scrapped in 2021 by then President Joe Biden. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ. Annex Wealth Management market update. All sorts of green here this afternoon as we get closer to the closing bell. The Dow's up about 100 points at 53,435. NASDAQ up 50 at 26,340. And the S&P 500 up about 25 at 7715. For sound financial advice from a fee-only fiduciary, it's Annex Wealth Management. Go to annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today.
The Packers travel to Denver to face the Broncos on Friday. We're looking ahead. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 2:05.
Bring us your problems, deadlines, complexities, anxieties, distractions, and budget distresses.
Plum Media is listening.
Share with us your creative block.
Plum Media is ready.
Give us your audience with limited time and attention.
Plum Media sets your message free.
Let's get your message heard. Let's strive for retention from beginning to completion. Whether your next event is for celebration, education, motivation, inspiration, Plum Media is waiting to take action.
Professional collaborators, planners, managers. Plum Media, video production and event management.
Plum Media, wow moments, flawless execution, clarity, calm, control.
And results.
Plum Media, a video, meetings, and event producer with global experience. PlumMedia.com.
Summer always starts with good intentions.
Kids home from school, weekend trips, more time outside.
But somehow the house is in complete chaos by June.
That's why summer is the perfect time to get organized with Inspired Closets.
We create custom solutions for garages, pantries, laundry rooms, and more so your home works better for real life.
And when everything has a place, summer feels a whole lot less stressful.
Visit us today at InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Inspired Closets.
A wife and husband team.
Sports parents know the countless hours and dollars spent on practice, games, equipment, training, travel. So when an injury happens, why don't we invest in recovery too? Vince Vitrano for MD Hyperbaric. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy supports the body's natural healing process, whether it's recovering from injury or a concussion, because it's not just about getting your athlete back on the field. It's about helping them recover for school, work, and life long after the season ends. Learn more at mdhyperbaric.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. After scoring 22 runs on 22 hits in a win over the Mariners, the Brewers send Dustin May to the mound tonight in Game 2.
It's one game, and it's a pretty good performance. I'd like to order that every night if we could order that. I'll take that off the menu. It's nice to see.
Brewers manager Pat Murphy. Coverage of tonight's game begins at 6:05. Milwaukee 4.5 games ahead of the Cubs for first place in the NL Central. Packers wide receiver Matthew Golden turning heads at Packers camp each and every day with a highlight reel catch. With Romeo Doubs and Dontavian Wicks gone, Golden figures to be a more prominent target for Jordan Love.
He's just going out there and he's putting it all together right now, so it looks great. I'm excited to see him when we get to the season, but he's making plays. We all know what he can do when the ball's in the air, the types of catches he can make. So I think for him, it's just understanding how to run routes a certain way, how to get open, the timing. He's doing a great job.
Packers travel to Denver to face the Broncos Friday night in preseason game number 2. Head coach Matt LaFleur confirms that Love is expected to start.
This is bad, but when I think about the Packers going to Denver, I think about that game when Micah Parsons got hurt. Because I was at that game. And he went down, and it didn't look terrible when it happened. But you were like, oh, no, he's not getting up. Yeah, okay. He's coming back, though. Coming back soon. Let's take a peek at the roads right now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We're looking pretty good. No crashes to report. A couple disabled vehicles that aren't causing problems. Really, our only issues are our construction zones, specifically 94. Today, it's eastbound and westbound around the ballpark. That's slow. And then we do have a little bit of slowing. Today, it's 4145 north in the Butler area in that construction zone.
Save now during the Ken Michaels Furniture Labor Day sale. Ken Michaels Furniture, where you can enjoy unprecedented saving on better quality furniture and mattresses during their factory-sponsored Labor Day sale. Stop in today and save.
Enjoy the day today. Beautiful day to get outside here. Still plenty of hours of daylight for you. 78 your high. Overnight low 61 under clear skies. Tomorrow looks like a winter. Little mix of sun and clouds. High 80 degrees with humidity and dew points on the lower side for this time of year. Next chance of rain could be Thursday night into Friday. We'll keep an eye on that. It's 76 right now in Milwaukee at 2:09.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
With you until 3 o'clock this afternoon. It's Wisconsin's Afternoon News following our program. Then Brewers baseball again. We'll see what happens here. An encore performance, perhaps, taking on the Mariners later tonight.
Here's your top 2 at 2 on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, the U.S. Department of Education is investigating Milwaukee Public Schools. The DOE is looking at allegations MPS considered race when disciplining students. The department's Office for Civil Rights says it's looking into whether MPS violated Title VI of the Civil Rights Act by encouraging race-based disciplinary practices. The investigation comes as the Trump administration just issued new guidance telling schools discipline policies must treat students equally regardless of race and should not be designed to produce racially balanced outcomes. Now, we did reach out to MPS. MPS tells us it has received notice of the investigation. In fact, they also sent us the letter, which I have in my hands right now. But MPS went on to say the letter it received doesn't contain the basis or prompting for the investigation. And once they know more, they can respond appropriately. And I will confirm that this letter does not specify what information prompted the investigation or identify any particular incident or policy under review. Some things it does say. The opening the investigation is not evidence that MPS violated the law, and a regional office is going to contact the district within a week here to start requesting records, data, and access to personnel. The other school district being investigated is in Fayetteville, Arkansas. But imagine getting this letter or email with the letter and opening this up. It starts with Dr. Superintendent Caselius, the U.S. Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights writes to inform you that OCR is initiating a directed investigation of Milwaukee Public Schools.
Number 2, Oak Creek leaders approving a final agreement with Buc-ee's regarding the state's first ever travel center. Some key details here. Under the agreement, Buc-ee's will begin construction in September 1st to be exact, with a completion date on or before August 1st of 2028. Buc-ee's will also make a one-time donation of $350,000 to a community project selected by the city of Oak Creek. In addition, they'll provide $15,000 a year for city marketing, special events, and community celebrations. All they wanted as exchange is for the Wisconsin DOT and city of Oak Creek to rename a portion of Elm Road Buc-ee's Boulevard. Do that, and here's your $350,000 plus $15,000 annually.
Certainly, as other ways, they wanted to bring themselves into the community in the right way and make a big splash. And I think this is them following through on those good faith efforts to really bring something special into the community.
That is Andrew Vickers. He's the Oak Creek administrator. Buc-ee's will also provide a space inside the travel center for a kiosk promoting tourism in the state and more information about Oak Creek.
We don't have Beaver Mart asking to change the names of roads, but Buc-ee's is big.
Buc-ee's is big. No doubt about that. It's coming up on 2:13 here on WTMJ.
Man, I love the taste of Mequon.
Yep, there's even a Port Washington State Bank.
What?
PWSB has a Mequon branch.
Burger with ranch?
No, PWSB has a Mequon branch.
Funny that.
Port Washington State Bank. We get you here. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hey, dog lovers, listen up. Getting to be that time where the kids are going back to school. Maybe you got to be at work a little more often. Maybe you need a place for your dog. Let me connect you with the Hounds and Tap Doggy Daycare right there on site for you, along with boarding and grooming services. Really is a one-stop shop. The Hounds and Tap, it's in Menominee Falls, and it's right off Silver Spring. Our dog Knight loves it there. We had him at the Hounds and Tap when we did a little weekend getaway. That's right. You want to book that fall getaway. You want to get out of town for a long weekend. Don't let the fact that you own a dog or multiple dogs get in the way. Connect with the Hounds and Tap. Your dog is going to be in great hands. You'll get personalized emails like we did. How's Knight doing? What's he up to? Is he making friends? You'll see pictures on the Facebook page. You know your dog will be in great hands at the Hounds and Tap. So go ahead, book that long weekend. Get out of town for a little bit. Take the family, pack up the car and go. Maybe a little weekend trip out west or out east to see some fall color. You name it, the Hounds and Tap's got your dog taken care of. Visit thehoundsandtap.com.
Has your doctor told you it's time to lose weight? Milwaukee Weight Loss helps people lose 20 to 40 pounds naturally in about 60 days without injections or extreme workouts. Get $200 off through August 31st. Schedule your free consultation at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary. Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi. Have you listened to WTMJ Outdoors yet? Well, what are you waiting for? Every Saturday at 2 right here on 620 WTMJ. Stories of the outdoors of Wisconsin and beyond as we celebrate everything in recreation. Every week we explore the trails and waterways of Wisconsin in the great outdoors. It's a great state on a great lake. Join me every Saturday, every weekend on WTMJ Outdoors.
It's WTMJ Outdoors, presented by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
For more than a century, Curative Care has been helping children, adults, and families across southeast Wisconsin navigate developmental disabilities and find the support they need to thrive. Curative helps families every step of the way, from early childhood through adulthood, connecting parents with resources, providing guidance during challenging times, and creating a community where people truly belong. If you know someone who may be looking for answers and support for a loved one with developmental disabilities, visit curative.org today.
From TMJ4, I'm meteorologist Lindsay Slater with your 5-day storm team forecast. For the rest of today, we have temperatures falling through the 60s with mostly clear skies. For your Thursday, highs near 80 degrees. We'll have mostly sunny skies and the lowest humidity of the week. But overnight tonight, we do get a cold front that approaches that could bring a few scattered showers. This could linger into early Friday morning with a few thunderstorms possible. Highs near 82 degrees. Saturday, 80 with a little bit of that increase in humidity with mostly sunny skies and a chance of some rain to the south on Sunday with a high of 77. Live interactive radar always available at tmj4.com.
77 degrees right now in Milwaukee at 216. Well, interesting story out of Texas here. Civil rights groups and more than 24 families have officially asked the United States Supreme Court to strike down a state law that requires public school classrooms to display the 10 Commandments. An appeal filed earlier this week could trigger a major national battle over religious freedom and the role of religion in public education. We welcome in ABC's Jim Ryan from the state of Texas. Jim, who is backing this lawsuit specifically?
Well, the ACLU is backing it. These 24 families representing lots of different faiths and no faith at all, atheists are a part of that group as well. They're the ones battling this. On the other side is the Texas legislature, which has passed this law. The governor has signed it. It's gone into effect. And now copies of the 10 Commandments are being posted in classrooms all across the state so that 5.5 million kids will see them. We have compulsory education here. And so kids who are in public school will see the 10 Commandments by design. That's exactly what the state legislature and the governor want.
Jim, I think some people will say, didn't the Supreme Court already rule that posting the 10 Commandments in public school classrooms was unconstitutional? What changed between the court's decision back in 1980 and today that gives supporters the confidence that this law could survive?
Well, a changing face of the U.S. Supreme Court, I suppose, Jessica. Yeah. In 1980, the High Court ruled that Kentucky could not post the 10 Commandments in the classrooms there because it was a violation of the separation of church and state, that it forced people to exercise or to observe a religion that they weren't necessarily interested in. So the High Court said, no, you can't do that. Then the case seemed to be settled for 46 years now. But yeah, the court is more conservative now. So too are lower courts. So this case actually ended up with the Fifth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, which voted in support, which supported the law here in Texas, one in Louisiana as well. But it wasn't a slam dunk, Jessica. The vote was 9-8 at the Fifth U.S. Circuit. So now that bumps it up to the U.S. Supreme Court, or at least the request. There's no guarantee the High Court will hear this case. In fact, we won't know for several months whether this case will be before the U.S. Supreme Court.
Hey, Jim, have other states tried something similar in the past several years?
Well, they have. And 2 other states right now are watching carefully to see what happens with this Texas and Louisiana case. The Louisiana-Texas cases are bundled together now. Alabama and Arkansas have passed similar legislation. It has not yet taken effect, but I suspect that if the Supreme Court either refuses to hear this case, which would allow the case, the Louisiana-Texas laws to stay in effect, or actually votes in support of them, that lots of other states may try this.
Well, Jim, if the Supreme Court agrees to hear the case, do you think this could become one of the most significant religion and school decisions in decades here?
Oh, absolutely. Sure. Yeah, and it will test the limits of not just school life, but public life overall. The separation of church and state, according to the Texas Attorney General, Ken Paxton, he says that it's bogus, that it's not written into the law anywhere. It's a principle, but it's not a law. And he says that you can't strike down the statute in Texas based on something that isn't a law. So I think that'll be part of the argument that the supporters of this new policy in Texas will try.
Well, and another, I guess, key element here, I'm not sure how big a deal it is, but who purchases these things? Who puts them up on the wall, right? Are they purchased with tax dollars, or is there private funding for it? That's a part of the discussion, I would imagine.
It is, and that was written into the statute in very specific directions about where these things can come from. First of all, they must be 18 by 20 inches, 16 by 20 inches. The poster that bears the Ten Commandments, and it must be donated by a private industry or company or individual. So yes, they do have to come from private sources, can't be funded by taxpayers. That was one stipulation that the legislature was able to allow there.
Hey, Jim, I've seen multiple versions of the Ten Commandments. Is that specified? Is there a specific version that must be used in this case?
Yes, it must be the Protestant Ten Commandments coming from the King James version of the Bible. It can't be the Jewish version. There is one. The Catholic version. It has to be this Protestant version that comes out of the King James. So, yeah, they've been very specific, and that may, give others cause to be concerned about this. There are Baptist preachers here in Texas. One Baptist preacher who is a part of this lawsuit says, listen, I don't want the church involved with the state, and I don't want the state involved with my church. And so, yeah, let's leave it alone. But, it'll be up to the high court, maybe, to decide this one.
ABC's Jim Ryan reporting from Texas. We appreciate it, Jim. Thank you.
All right. See ya.
Bark and Scratch Outpost. We know you love your pets. They love you too, so don't forget. Your pets are happy when you take good care of them. Meow. Your pets are happy when you take good care of them.
Come on down, you will see.
We do it naturally. MilwaukeePetFood.com. Bark and Scratch Outpost.
Our friendly staff is available 7 days a week to show you a variety of high-quality, local, and national brand pet foods. Be sure to visit our freezer area for a large selection of diets and bones. Bark and Scratch Outpost, 5835 West Blue Mound Road. Leashed pets are always welcome. At Bark and Scratch Outpost, we think outside the bag.
Come on down, you will see.
We do it naturally. MilwaukeePetFood.com. Bark and Scratch Outpost.
Shopping for new windows and doors shouldn't feel like a negotiation. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin doesn't believe in games. They never inflate pricing, and there's no high-pressure sales pitch. Just premium windows and doors built for long-term comfort, beauty, and peace of mind. Buy direct through Pella, and one trusted team handles everything with Pella-certified installers every step of the way. Real pricing, premium quality, no games. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Hey, Greg Mansick here. So thankful for the team at Annex Wealth Management and what they have done for us since we connected with Annex about 9 years ago. We wanted to be on a good financial plan and path toward our retirement. I've still got some time here, but we want to make sure we're taking the proper steps, and the folks at Annex have helped develop a customized plan for us because, well, our situation is custom, and so is yours. So where you thought you'd be with your portfolio? If you haven't looked over your portfolio, you're maybe gotten some questions, you want to connect with the folks at Annex Wealth Management for a complimentary review. Tax planning experts on site. Investments, estate planning, you can do it all with their in-house team at Annex Wealth Management. Get on the right track with Annex. They'll take the time to understand you, your situation, and getting you on the right path. Whatever it is to fit your life and your goals, Annex operates as a fee-only fiduciary. That means they're required to act in your best interest. Looking at the whole picture, they do it at one place and near your neighborhood. Connect with Annex Wealth Management and click on the events tab at annexwealth.com to see where they will be next. Coming up, August 27th at Ember Social in Grafton at 6 p.m., the 7 tax moves to consider before December. You'll want to get this on the calendar. Click on the events tab at annexwealth.com and know the difference with Annex Wealth Management.
Whoop, just doing some roofing on another lovely Wisconsin day. No gimmicks, no shortcuts, it's just roofing done the old-fashioned way. Do you need shingles? Let's mingle, for a Wisconsin tradition never dwindles. So raise a glass, shake a hand for this old-fashioned brand. Whoop, that's old-fashioned roofing.
So you and I both do a lot of work in one of our folders here. So we've got that computer system that we organize all of our news stories and things that we've got recorded, sound bites, all that kind of stuff. And you and I are very active in our personal Wisconsin's Midday News folder, and then we each have additional folders. I did not put this in. I usually see the writer is either you, J. Ty.
Oh, I was like, where are we going here? Nobody cares about our folders.
Or me,
Now
G.
I know
Matzik.
where you're going.
Well, and now I rarely see Gina's name pop up in our folders.
It's
And
there
what is
today.
Gina doing here? This doesn't make any sense. Well, it does when you consider that Dunkin' is out with its fall menu, which includes pumpkin spice everything. So Gina decided to write a story on it, which is really the menu here at Dunkin'. Yes, it is August 19th, and they are ahead of Starbucks, per usual. But if you want a pumpkin spice something or other, be it a protein latte or something off the menu for dining, you can do it at Dunkin' beginning today.
How about a pumpkin cloud Dunkin' latte? That
Okay.
just sounds fun to say.
Sounds
you go
nice.
order it. I will say it was back on, I looked at this, August 2nd. Gina had sent me, I believe it was on a weekend, she sent me a little post on Instagram, and it had one sentence. It was orange, and it said, pumpkin back at Dunkin', 8/19. And I said, wow, Dunkin', that's early. But then I clicked on the ad. The ad was, I had to go back to it. It basically was starting very small with the sentence pumpkin back at Dunkin', and then it got bigger. Like the next picture got bigger and bigger and bigger, but I was going backwards. And so when I looked at the first one, it was like I was at the eye doctor. When you're trying to squint and how many letters can you read on that? That's what it looked like.
Well, it is a pretty robust menu. I'll give them credit for that, but it might be some things that maybe look better than they sound. Tiramisu, marshmallow, matcha. Do we need to be mixing marshmallow and tiramisu with matcha? That seems like a lot.
I told you the other day how I felt about the only matcha drink I ever had.
Yeah, it's a little
Tasted like trash.
earthy. I don't know. Matcha, not for me, but I know it is a big thing. So they're trying to capitalize on this. There is another tiramisu cloud latte, tiramisu protein latte. They're really leaning into the tiramisu on the fall menu here at Dunkin' for whatever reason. And then, of course, your pumpkin pie coffee chiller, Dunkin' latte.
Don't forget about the pumpkin munchkins.
Yes.
The donut holes, they'll Dunkin'.
Series of donuts and muffins, pumpkin munchkins, donut hole treats, Chipotle hash brown wake-up wrap, and maple brown sugar bacon. That's all available for you. The Starbucks menu, by the way, that drops on August 25th.
Yeah, today Dunkin' pulling off its favorite trick, beating Starbucks to pumpkin spice.
It's 2:27.
The historic Fox and Hound Supper Club is the most beautiful, unique, and affordable summer dining destination. WTMJ's John Merck here. I love the Fox and Hounds. When you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free, including prime rib every Wednesday and Saturday, desserts and ice cream drinks, buy one, get one free. Order a hand-cut choice ribeye steak, pan-seared scallops, the roasted duck, pan-fried walleye, pasta, the ribs, any entree, your second dinner is free. 7 nights a week. Wow, what a value. Relax with a cold beverage on that patio in the woods, then dinner in one of the 8 unique dining rooms. Your second dinner is free. It is a dining experience at the historic Fox and Hounds. The award-winning Fox and Hounds Supper Club off Highway 167 near Holy Hill. The drive through the Kettle Moraine is stunning. A Wisconsin summer must-see. Wherever you live, it's worth the beautiful drive and free dinner at the Fox and Hounds. So step away from your kitchen, call and reserve your free dinner today. It's the famous Fox and Hounds.
Accident Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wicker, Chief Homebuyer Helper with Wisconsin's own Accident Mortgage. Nicer homes are still getting multiple offers over asking, and there's only one winner per listing. I want to help you be that winner, which is why I just increased the Rock Solid Pre-Approval Guarantee to $10,000. It's all about getting the seller to pick your offer over the others. So AccuNet is now guaranteeing in writing to pay the seller 10,000 American bucks if we can't make good on the terms of your fully verified Rock Solid Pre-Approval. Banks don't do that. We're willing to stand behind our work and stand behind you with a $10,000 guarantee that sellers will definitely notice. Maybe you've been writing offers and losing, which feels terrible, or maybe you're just starting out. Either way, don't settle for a flimsy bank pre-approval and let someone else end up sleeping in your dream home. Give the seller 10,000 reasons to say yes to your offer with AccuNet's new $10,000 Rock Solid Seller Guarantee. Get started with yours today at accunet.com.
Healthy joints, healthy lifestyle. Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Arthritis, injuries, wear and tear, common joint issues that keep you from doing what you love. At OAW, a visit to the doctor doesn't always mean surgery. Everyone is different. Surgeons, nurses, physical therapists work together to come up with a plan for you. Maybe it's PT, medication, injection, and if you do need surgery like I did, you know you're in the best of hands. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. Book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
It's 2:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It is Wednesday, August 19th. Your top story, pleading not guilty to beating a 99-year-old woman.
I'm Jessica Ty. Wisconsin film companies benefiting from state tax credits.
Nice day, clearing skies, high of 77.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. In Massachusetts, the jury in the murder trial of Lindsay Clancy was sent home for the day due to what the judge described as an unforeseen circumstance. The mother is charged in the killing of her 3 children in 2023. Defense attorneys claim Clancy did not receive proper medical treatment for postpartum psychosis. ABC's Peter Haralambous has more.
A bit of a surprise. The jury actually was just sent back for lunch. As they got back from that break, they were told they were actually going to go home for the day. The judge really not providing many details. He said this was unavoidable. He also told the jury not to speculate about what this is.
A new round of tariffs set to take effect on Canadian goods, now on hold for 3 days. President Trump says so the U.S. and Canada can continue talks on a trade deal. Power in the city of Griffith, Indiana, remains out in many areas due to storms. The utility company says it is working to restore all power by the end of the week, and extreme heat, the concern across much of the south and western states. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 2:31. The man accused of attacking a 99-year-old woman while she waited hours for help to arrive is seeking an insanity defense.
Ma'am, are you able to hear me? A 911 call from the night that Joseph Macias allegedly broke into a woman's home and brutally beat her on the south side of Milwaukee. Macias is pleading not guilty by reason of insanity or mental defect to several felonies, and a judge ordered a doctor's evaluation due in October. This comes as the City Department of Emergency Communications continues its investigation into why it took 3 hours after the first 911 call for police to arrive. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Decision Wisconsin. A series of fights on the last day of State Fair is now becoming part of the conversation in the race for governor. The fights left a police officer hurt and led to 7 arrests Sunday night. Democratic candidate for governor, Milwaukee County Executive David Crawley telling WTMJ.
State Fair is actually controlled by the state of Wisconsin, and which is controlled by the Republican-controlled legislature. And so we want to make sure that we're providing safe spaces, working directly hand in hand, not just with law enforcement, but our community violence interrupters in general. As county executive, I work with all of our local municipalities to make sure that they have the resources that they need.
Republican gubernatorial candidate Congressman Tom Tiffany also weighing in. Tiffany says Crowley has a failed record as county executive.
Wisconsin lawmakers considering whether the state needs additional cryptocurrency regulations. Financial regulators say Wisconsinites lost more than $92 million to cyber crimes a year ago. Residents 60 and older lost $46 million to cryptocurrency scams alone. Robin Jacobs is with the Department of Financial Institutions.
I think the volume and scale of what's going on with crypto transactions as opposed to fiat, it's off the charts. And it's true in Wisconsin, it's true on the national level. And it keeps going up every year despite our efforts.
A bipartisan committee plans to meet again in the fall to consider possible legislation.
A renovated Milwaukee Senior Center is giving hundreds of older adults a new place to gather and stay connected.
The Clinton Rose Senior Center has been transformed with new spaces and upgrades designed around the people who use it. More than 700 seniors are expected to benefit from the upgrades at Clinton Rose.
We don't have people who are seniors who are languishing at home by themselves.
Building specialist with Milwaukee County, Daryl White, tells WTMJ.
Some of them just come to hang out with their friends, man. Some of them come to get a meal. Some of them come to see what events are taking place. Some of them come for information. There's always something going on that's going to benefit the people.
The $4 million renovation includes a new computer lab, a clinic, remodeled kitchen, and an updated game room. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 2:34.
Don't wait until Friday for your fish fry. The Mine Chef restaurant serves their all-you-can-eat fish fry every Wednesday and Friday. WTMJ's John Mercure here. The haddock fish fry is just $8.99. You'll pay twice that at other restaurants. I love the Mine Chef fish fry. Build your own big burger or chicken sandwich with a pile of hot fries for under $10 today. Kids and grandkids under 3, eat for free. Sunday through Thursday from the kids menu, it is free. They can safely play in the world-class game room, quietly set away from the dining area while you finish up your meal. That sounds fantastic. Everybody in the family wins. I urge you to just walk on in today for your Wednesday all-you-can-eat haddock fish fry at just $8.99. That's a crazy low price, and it's great food. Cocktails, beer, appetizers are half price Monday through Thursday from 2 till 5. The Mine Shaft in downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh near the EAA. Lots of seating, lots of close parking. Big food, big fun. It's the Mine Shaft Restaurant.
For 176 years, St. Vincent de Paul Society of Milwaukee has been neighbors helping neighbors, working to eliminate poverty and hunger with compassion and dignity. When families face hard times, our volunteers step in. Over 600 trained volunteers ready to meet people where they're at, in their homes. And that's what our Neighbors Helping Neighbors home visit program is all about. Volunteers travel in pairs, listening first, then offering personalized support. They provide families and individuals with things like furniture, beds, food, clothing, and connect them to vital community resources. Help that provides stability during challenging times. These home visits don't just address an immediate need. They help create a safer, more stable future for our families and individuals in our community. Last year alone, St. Vincent de Paul Society volunteers completed nearly 11,000 home visits across Milwaukee County, serving those who need us most. Together, we are neighbors helping neighbors. To learn more about our mission or get involved, visit svdpmilw.org.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Playing with an edge is something defensive coordinator Jonathan Gannon is preaching in his first year in Green Bay, something he's getting out of veteran linebacker Zaire Franklin.
My mentality in between the white lines is ultra competitor, like ultimate alpha, like I want to challenge the best, the biggest. I don't want a little guy. I want to go against the bad out there. That's how I feel. I feel like I'm the best. I'm the baddest on the planet when I'm on the field. That's just my mentality.
Packers head coach Matt LaFleur confirms Jordan Love will play in Friday's preseason game against the Broncos in Denver. Brewers look to take the series tonight against the Mariners in Game 2 of a 3-game set. The successful rehab assignment for rookie shortstop Cooper Pratt could result in his return as early as tonight. Milwaukee begins today 4.5 games ahead of the Cubs in the division. Coverage of tonight's game gets underway at 6:05.
Let's get you an update on the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. It's been a pretty decent day on the roads so far. No crashes to report right now. There's only one disabled vehicle. That's not causing any problems. The only issues we have, and we're so used to them at this point, delays in our construction zones. Delays, especially today, on our construction zone area 94, that's eastbound and westbound. I did just notice, though, no crashes being reported here, but I do see there's extra slowing 94 eastbound right now. It's actually before you hit the ballpark. So it looks like once you get past 84th Street, all of a sudden some cars are coming to a slowdown, and then it gets pretty slow before you hit the ballpark. So heads up there, then you have some clearing right around American Family Field, and then it gets slower again on 94 eastbound right around the Menominee Valley, headed into the city.
From TMJ4, I'm meteorologist Lindsay Slater with your 5-day storm team forecast. For the rest of today, we have temperatures falling through the 60s with mostly clear skies. For your Thursday, highs near 80 degrees. We'll have mostly sunny skies and the lowest humidity of the week. But overnight tonight, we do get a cold front that approaches that could bring a few scattered showers. This could linger into early Friday morning with a few thunderstorms possible. Highs near 82 degrees. Saturday, 80 with a little bit of that increase in humidity with mostly sunny skies, and a chance of some rain to the south on Sunday with a high of 77. Live interactive radar always available at tmj4.com.
76 degrees right now in Milwaukee at 2:38.
Wisconsin is rolling out its first film tax credits. Today, the governor announced the state's new film office just awarded more than $1 million to 6 Wisconsin productions. That includes the Uke documentary everybody's loving.
A name will send shivers through you when you hear it. Mr. Baseball.
Oh, it's such a great film. The production team behind Uke will get $140,000 from the state. The new tax credit program offers up to $5 million a year to attract film and TV production. And we've been talking about this for a long time, even before it was actually official, because this is a big deal for the state. You're going to attract other people to come and produce movies or TV shows here in Wisconsin. And you have so many other states across the country that were doing this. We were one of the last ones to have a film office. So state leaders talk about all the jobs this will create and supporting local businesses, and then also showcasing Wisconsin. I mean, you're showcasing Wisconsin on the big screen, and then people see it, they like it, they want to come and check it out, right? Other projects awarded money include films about former MLB Commissioner Bud Selig and NFL standout Don Beebe. So, Greg, a theme in here is definitely some of the sports films, but it's not all sports films.
No, I totally get that and understand it. Uke is a different level of superstar that Wisconsin has ever seen. But you have to imagine that documentaries on the Packers, anything Packers related, right? Just think about their culture and their history. There will be more on the Green Bay Packers, but also we've seen, Door County show up in Hallmark type movies and things along that line, where now word gets around that you've got this opportunity to make it financially feasible or more feasible for you to shoot your film. And you may want to look to Wisconsin in many of its circles and covering all the great things we have in this state.
So I mentioned that one film about Bud Selig, of course, a Milwaukee native. That one's called Long Shot, how Bud Selig brought baseball home. That team was just awarded $167,000. That's basically a feature film that looks at the life of former Major League Baseball Commissioner Bud Selig's unlikely quest to bring America's national pastime back here to Brew City. That will be a big one for a lot of people, too. The Don Beebe story that's called Run for Glory, that one, the team behind that film got $86,000. That one tells the inspiring story of the NFL standout following his upbringing in the Midwest and his determination to overcome adversity. But talking about some of the other films that do not have a sports-related theme, there are a couple of cool ones on here, too. And I just like knowing that these teams got some money because of this, because we're also learning more about these films. There's one called The Warehouse. That team received $216,000. That's a documentary following an eclectic team of educators and artists working to complete Frank Lloyd Wright's last remaining unfinished building in Richland Center, which is the famed architect's hometown. Yeah. So that's a cool one, too. The one, let's see here, as I take a peek at all these, the film that got the most money here is RAO, R-A-O. That team got more than $500,000. That's an independent feature film that follows an Indian American family's journey as they navigate the tension between duty and dreams across 3 decades and 3 seasons up in northern Wisconsin.
It was May 7th, 2025. A bill aimed at injecting new life into Wisconsin's film industry received a hearing at the Assembly Ways and Means Committee hearing. So the proposal was authored by Senator Julian Bradley, Republican out of New Berlin. We've had him on the air before talking about this. Republican David Armstrong from Rice Lake was also behind this, with the simple idea of establishing this dedicated state film office and implementing targeted film production tax credits. This is a great example of bipartisan legislature as it's meant, right? It got to Governor Evers' desk, the Democratic governor, and said, this is great, love it, signed it in, and now those who are choosing to film and shoot in the state of Wisconsin are reaping the benefits. It's doing exactly what it was intended to do.
And keep in mind, there are requirements to be eligible. It's not like just make a movie here and, oh, yeah, you might get some money. To be eligible for these tax credits, the productions have to spend a minimum of $100,000 in salary and wages for projects 30 minutes or longer, and a minimum of $50,000 in salary and wages for projects less than 30 minutes.
2:43 on WTMJ. Coming up next, it's the end of the line for a massive piece of American culture. We'll explain after this.
Day after day, year after year, the heavy lifting, the repetitive motion, and now your body feels it. Your back, your knees, your quality of life. At Pivot Work Injury Law, we stand up for those worn down by work. Workers' comp is our sole focus, and we've recovered more than $50 million for Wisconsin workers. From sudden accidents to pain that builds over years of hard work, we're dedicated to fighting for the benefits you're entitled to. If you've been worn down by work, contact Pivot Work Injury Law today for a risk-free consultation. Visit pivotworkinjurylaw.com.
Are you looking for a welcoming place to unwind? Vince Vitrano here. Our family found a home at Racine Country Club. Premier golf on the historic championship course. Rain, famously fast greens, tight fairways, and scenic Root River views. Work your game year-round with indoor simulators, hitting bays, top-notch practice facilities, and leagues for every level. Plus, at Racine Country Club, you enjoy elevated dining, swimming, and a full calendar of family-friendly events. Join me on the course at Racine Country Club, racinecountryclub.com.
You might not think of Burkhart for corporate uniforms and other business apparel, but you should, because a lot of businesses do. And it's because most times we're cheaper than our competition on the same high-quality apparel choices that the other guys offer, plus Nike and Under Armour that the other guys can't get. So for businesses and corporations, if you want your employees to look great while representing your brand, and you want to get your apparel for less, you can't beat Burkhart, your business uniform specialists.
You can't beat Burkhart.
The new All-Pro battery by Steel. Tackle any task with 60% more peak power. Exclusively available at your local Steel dealer. 60% peak power comparison between AP300PC and AP300S.
Nice day today, high of 78 degrees, good deal of sunshine, a little bit of clouds, overnight low 61. Tomorrow, similar situation here. Temperatures right around 80 degrees, humidity and dew point should be on the lower end of things. Chance of rain late tomorrow night, better chance of rain throughout the day on Friday with a high of 82. 77 right now in Milwaukee at 2:45. Well, after 71 years of operation, it is the end of the line for a massive piece of American pop culture.
Look for special Columbia House offers this month in selected magazines, newspapers, and your mail.
Oh, did they have the offers? I tell you what, Columbia House, an iconic mail-order music and movie club, don't forget about the movies, officially shutting down, according to an announcement from the company's website. This started back in 1955 with the goal of selling vinyl records directly to your home, and then they progressed. They did 8-track tapes. Then they did cassettes. Then they did compact discs, which is where I got involved.
I didn't realize they were doing the vinyl because it seems like, I mean, I guess because it's a little old-fashioned these days, but I loved the LP and I loved the records, and I felt like I was so careful with them, especially when you put them on the record player. So to think about mailing those, you got to be careful with that.
I did not know that either. Well, here's how it worked. A glossy, colorful mailer arrived at your house, right? It'd have that irresistible introductory offer promising 12 CDs for a single penny. How could you pass up the deal, Jessica? Well, you couldn't. So long as you agreed to purchase 5 full-price CDs over the next year, then it was up to you to make those selections. I remember going through, and it was almost like the selection options were like stamps, and you could like undo them and then attach them to a card, and then you send in the card, and boom, before you know it. Yeah, their Nirvana Nevermind album was showing up at your door, and it was all carefully packaged in this tight sort of cardboard packaging. I remember racing to the mailbox because you couldn't track it. You didn't know when it was going to come. You just knew it was on its way. So you looked at the mailbox every day until your CDs came. And this was among my first ever selections in Columbia House. I was a member.
That's pretty cool. I don't think I was ever a member, though I do remember the ads for it. I think maybe my dad was, because he's a big music guy. I feel like he kind of got me into music. But when you talk about the excitement of what you might have in the mailbox, that reminds me of Rolling Stone. I used to get the Rolling Stone magazine in high school, and that was always interesting to see. It was also it was a site. You mentioned earlier, because Rolling Stone is a larger magazine. It's got that big cover, and the cover was always a little bit dramatic on it, too. So it was like, ooh, what do we have this time?
Well, somebody appearing on the cover of Rolling Stone might have appeared in your list of albums that you wanted to have. Here's what I didn't know. In 1996, Columbia House boasted 16 million members. This was a $1.5 billion annual revenue company. It accounted for 15% of all music sales in the country. That is massive. So in the history of Columbia House, there were some heavy hitters. What were the most frequently selected albums of all time? Well, this is one of them. Michael Jackson's Thriller album, which is the best-selling album of all time, crossed over the 5 million mark in club sales. 5 million. Now think about this being available in, the late 80s, early 90s. People were running to the record stores to find this album. So the fact that it hit over 5 million in sales via Columbia House alone, I think is pretty significant. One of the massive albums of all time in the history of music.
Oh, man. Thriller was huge. And then you had, of course, the music video as well. I actually was just thinking about that music video because there's that Michael Jackson movie that came out a while back, and very, very mixed reviews. Some people loved it. Some of the reviewers said it's just downright bad. I think it depends on what you're looking for out of it. If you just want to go and you want to sit down and you want to go back to the days and hear his music and all those great songs, I think you're fine. If you're really looking for the story of Michael Jackson, I think you're going to be disappointed. But that was one that they're playing in their Thriller.
Other big-time albums, Journey racked up over 6 million in club sales. The Eagles' greatest hits album, over 7 million in sales. but it's a 1998 release that sits at the absolute pinnacle of audited Columbia House data, achieving a staggering 9 million units sold to club members alone.
Mama was a looker, Lord, I was a shine. Papa was a good but the jealous kind.
Yeah, Garth Brooks' Double Live album in 1998. The most frequently purchased single album. Yeah, double disc, a live concert of Garth Brooks.
Yeah, of course, people wanted that double album.
Also wildly popular albums by the Beatles and Green Day's Dookie album from the mid-90s, which I had. It's a great album. I wore that thing out. Time is running out. You still have time to submit your final orders here. The subscription service will stop accepting new orders after September 1st, bringing a definitive end to a massive piece of American pop culture history.
It's the best part of the day. You put all your cares away. Get ready for a smile on your face. It's just the right time and just the right place. The music you love, the movies you share, the things that make you care. Keeping value high, we'll serve you so our relationship will grow and grow. Columbia House, big enough to bring you all the best.
For growing businesses, digital marketing shouldn't be a gamble. If your business needs results, not guesswork, it's time for a different approach. At Margle Media, we deliver real results for businesses in an evolving digital world. Backed by data, guided by strategy, and focused on actionable outcomes. We partner with businesses of all sizes to drive growth locally or nationwide. Set up a free consultation today. Visit us at marglemedia.com. That's MARGLE media.com.
Earn now, spend later at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Now through August 26th, rewards members earn $10 in Blaine's Bucks for every $100 spent in store. Redeemable just like cash, September 3rd to the 16th. Right now, rewards members save $100 on a Charbroil Performance 4-burner grill. Assorted rustic pantry spices, jams, and pickled vegetables are 15% off. And trail mixes also 15% off. Earn Blaine's Bucks now to spend later, just like cash. Only at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Join us for the Milwaukee Night Market this summer on July 22nd, August 19th, September 16th, and October 7th. Located on West Wisconsin Avenue between 2nd Street and Vel R. Phillips Avenue. The Milwaukee Night Market is a free outdoor event showcasing a variety of local vendors, performers, and artists. The Milwaukee Night Market transforms the heart of downtown into an exciting fusion of all the city has to offer for one night only each month this summer and fall. Visit mkenightmarket.com to learn more.
The stories you're talking about on Wisconsin's Morning News.
The I-94 reconstruction project through Milwaukee's west side could potentially take a couple of extra years.
Costs can go up. I'll give you some room on that.
That's always going to happen, right?
Going to happen. Okay, fine. But the idea on the timeline, we only studied this project for 20 years.
The key phrase is potential delay. There are some ways they can reconfigure, maybe speed up one portion of the phases.
Okay, let's do that.
Only here on WTMJ.
Screaming Sicilian, more is amore. Screaming Sicilian, more is amore. Amore, maroni, amore, mozzarella, amore. Screaming Sicilian, screaming Sicilian.
Screaming Sicilian frozen pizza. More toppings, more flavor. More is amore.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
So breaking news, beginning in January of 2027, it's going to cost you more to drive through the state of Illinois.
The tolls are going up.
They just passed this. The Illinois Tollway Board of Directors voted unanimously to approve a massive 57% toll increase for passenger vehicles, 30% increase for commercial vehicles. This happened just a couple of hours ago, and the rate hikes will take effect January 1st, 2027. Now, they've not done this. They've not had a passenger toll hike since 2012. One might argue that it's a little overdue. Okay, I totally get it. But if you got an iPass and you're driving back and forth from Illinois, you're going to notice 45 cents more per toll being added, or deducted, I should say, from your iPass. So this raises the average passenger toll from 79 cents to $1.24. That's pretty significant.
That is.
That is a big jump.
I mean, you will notice that. That definitely takes a chunk out of your wallet there. This is the largest toll rate increase in state history. Do you remember when you first got the responders? Do you guys have one? Now they have stickers. But did you get a responder to go
like
through?
An actual iPass thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have it, as a matter of fact.
Oh, you didn't return it?
No, I haven't turned it back in.
Yeah.
No, I still have it. It still works.
And
It's
it
fine.
does still work.
It does, yeah.
Because they
No, it works
usually
just
have
fine.
a lifespan, and I can't remember. I remember getting a letter. I don't remember if it said 10 years or what, but they typically have a lifespan. Now you've got the sticker, which makes it a lot easier.
So this is going to start being like stamps. Here's the other nugget here. Starting in 2029, automatic inflation-linked toll adjustments will occur every 2 years without requiring further board approval. So they haven't done a toll hike in, 14, 15 years? And beginning in 2029, they're going to do it every 2 years.
Got to take the train.
Yeah.
Just take the train,
Not a
right?
bad
You can
way
get
to
some
go.
work done on the train, and you don't have to pay those tolls.
Well, we know where all this goes. It goes into a lot of the roads and the construction that happens in Illinois. So they're expected to generate significant revenue here, as you might expect, over the next 15 years. It's kind of their outlook of $26.5 billion. It's part of a giant capital program they have on the roadways. So like you needed any less of a reason to go to Illinois, tolls are going up beginning next year.
Where are the Bears going?
Are they in Hammond, Indiana yet? Well, you have to drive through
Are they in the
Illinois to
armpit
get
of
to 'em.
Indiana?
Well, not yet. Not yet. It's 2:56 here on WTMJ. If you missed any bit of our program, we encourage you to check out our podcast page, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and you will find us here, Wisconsin's Midday News. Also, a reminder, we're on YouTube every day, so you can stream the program. You can find us on YouTube. That allows you to hop into our studio, make comments on our YouTube page. You can also find some show clips from previous shows, including this one. Wisconsin's Afternoon News, right where you need to be, our podcast page and YouTube feed. Short show tomorrow. We're back for just about a half hour as the Brewers wrap up that series with the Mariners. And I
Can't
learned
wait
this,
to see what they're going to do tomorrow.
right after what they did last night. And then an early 3 o'clock start for the Brewers on Friday, which is rare for a home game, but they got another 3:10 start on Friday afternoon.
Yeah, in case you missed it yesterday, the Brewers torched the Mariners in a historically lopsided shutout. Clobberfest, we could call it.
22-0. Wisconsin's Afternoon News is next, followed by Brewers baseball here on WTMJ.
For the brave men and women of our United States military, it's been said, some gave all, but all gave some.